Hey everybody, Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas.
And also Happy
Merry
Hanukkah.
Christmas, bitches.
Also Happy Hanukkah, because I think Hanukkah started today too, which is kind of unusual. It doesn't usually start this late in December, but I think it did this year for some reason. Yeah. But yeah, so I hope everybody's Christmas has been good. It's not quite over yet, but you know what I mean.
We spent all day throwing away boxes. And throwing out garbage.
It did seem like that, didn't it?
Set the new television up. That fucking television is huge.
Yeah, we got like, how many inches is it? 70 something?
72.
72 inches.
72, yeah. That's a big one.
It's a big one.
Yeah.
It's very big.
Yeah, we got our own fucking private home theater in our
When
bedroom.
I saw the box, like when they delivered it
yeah.
on the truck, I was just kind of like, why do they need like 3 guys? Like to? And I was like, oh, that's why. This is a big fucking massive TV.
It's a big one.
It's a big one.
Yeah.
But yeah, we got that all set up. And the box of it was just kind of like, there was like the box and there's like 40 bajillion tons of styrofoam in there. And
yeah.
So I had to keep like breaking the styrofoam up and like carrying it all downstairs and putting it in the garbage. And
Murder Hornets in there talking shit. Sending me messages all fucking day.
Oh yeah?
Crazy comments and shit.
About what?
I don't know.
You don't know?
He's still in, I think he's still in rehab.
Oh.
Probably bored.
I guess so.
Yeah.
You don't know what the comments were about, or you don't want to tell me?
Just sideways shit, you know. Fucking Geronimo, you know, out of the blue, or just fucking, you know, Geronimo. You hold on to these nuts and just shit like that, you know. He's fucking, it's Murder Hornet. He does shit like that, man. He's a crazy ass veteran.
Okay.
Yeah. Hold on these nuts, son. Shit like that. Just fucking.
Yeah, I can't reach your nuts from here.
Yeah.
But
yeah. Just.
But yeah.
Yeah. If he has some kind of exclamation, he has to fucking shout out. He just texts it to me. And I don't know what he's talking about.
It's like texting Tourette's.
Yeah, yeah. I don't know what he's talking about.
Text Tourette's. Mm-hmm. You kind of have a little bit of Tourette's syndrome, I think.
So it just jumps out.
Because he just thinks stuff. Because, like, I'm not even in the room, and he's like, I hear him just in the bathroom going, "You motherfucker." Yeah. Talking to nobody.
Yeah. Well, you ever see fucking Predators? Remember Lawrence Fishburne played the one you don't want to fuck with up in there? All right. Well, he was from my unit. That dude was from 101st. Okay, that character. All right. And he sat there and he talked to his buddy the whole fucking time. They would talk, remember?
Yeah.
Yeah, just like that.
Yeah, he's just like talking to
just like that,
people.
Yeah. Except there's not really a...
He's like, I hate you. I hate you.
Yeah, there's not a fucking... it's saying that to me.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
It's saying that to me.
But you're doing its voice?
Yeah, I'm doing its voice. Okay. It's kind of like Venom.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that's why you like the Venom movies so much. Because...
Yeah. Yeah, he's
fucking... So you're like, yeah, that's accurate.
He's fucking with me always.
He's got Venom in there.
Yeah.
But yeah, we ended up getting, other than like having to throw all the boxes away, I think we got good. Like Tom got me a whole bunch of clothes.
Yeah.
And one of that, I'm gonna wear that new dress, the black one with the Viking shit on it. Or the pagan stuff on it. I'm gonna wear that.
I actually like the other one too.
Saturday. Yeah, that looks good too.
Yeah.
Because he had bought me. It's this really. How would you explain it? It's kind of like it's
post-apocalyptic.
It's like brown and black kind of, and it's just like kind of it looks like shreds.
And it's tight in certain areas and slit down the side.
And it's got a hood.
Yeah, it's got a hood, and it looks like some kind of post-apocalyptic thing. And it looks good. It looks gothed out.
Every now and then at Mannequins they do a post-apocalyptic kind of theme. That would be good for that.
It just looks cool. It is what it is. You don't question it. You know, just
you don't question it.
Made you look like a fucking bombshell, though.
Yeah, it did fit good.
Made your tits and ass look big. Yeah.
Because the thing about it is that Tom had bought me that same dress before,
but too small.
But it was like it wasn't horrible. I could get it on.
Yeah.
But it was like a little bit
too tight.
Yeah. Like not really, and not in a flattering way. Like I was just kind of like.
Yeah,
it's like I kind of
mash things in.
Yeah, I was like, I kind of look like when you have the biscuits and you kind of pop open the thing of biscuits. I kind of felt like that. It just
looked like she couldn't breathe in it.
I couldn't.
Yeah, that's what it looked like.
That's how tight it was.
It looked like you really couldn't breathe in it.
So he got one size bigger and it fits much better. Yeah. But yes, that came out nice.
Because sometimes she wears a medium and sometimes she wears a large. You can't tell.
It depends on the cut.
Depends on how the Chinese are feeling that day.
Yeah, it's weird because usually, I mean, if you're ordering stuff from Asia, you like American women, even if they're not big, like usually have to get extra large or extra large. Yeah. Because man, that shit is tiny.
Yeah, they're small as child size.
Tiny.
Yeah, if you get one of their smalls, it's child size. We could fit that. We could fit it on that doll.
Yeah. That's what I mean. It's like
shot.
Yeah, it's like there's no way I'm getting like one thigh
shoes.
in there.
Yeah.
Like much less my whole body.
Yeah.
And I'm not that big.
They must have some tiny ass Chinese.
I mean, I'm not small either, but I'm not that fucking big. So you know.
They must have a lot of tiny ass Chinese girls.
I guess it's just that must be like a genetic thing.
Yeah.
I guess because it's like my big fat butt isn't gonna fit in there.
Sometimes you get you some stockings. You put them on. They're fucking. They look too tight. And you're like, man, it's a thigh high, but it's only coming up to a little bit past your knee.
Yeah. It's supposed to go like all the way up.
Like, what the fuck is that?
It's like, well, yeah. If you have like a little bit of
Jen's
skinny,
not big. Jen's maybe 5'1", 5'3",
5'3", 5'2", 5'3".
Yeah, she probably weighs about 135, 140 probably right now. I haven't weighed her in a while.
Yeah.
But
I don't weigh myself.
Mostly pretty good weight right now.
Yeah, I mean, you know, most stuff looks good. It's just you gotta watch.
Yeah.
But that's just how it goes.
What are they saying in there?
And I got Tom some new jock mail.
Y'all got she likes the sexy underwear. She gives me some of that fucking gay underwear.
I looked on there because you know, if you look on the jock mail site, like on Amazon or whatever, like they have some crazy ones on there. Like,
some of them are gay.
Well, all kind of like wacky colors and like stuff hanging off of them and stuff. And I was kind of tempted. Yeah. I was like, oh, that would be so funny.
The targets on the asses.
But I was like, no, I better not. So I got.
Wow.
So I just got like regular.
Just like they're like
red.
They're like briefs type.
Red and navy blue.
Sports briefs type.
And I think I got some black ones that are like mesh.
Yeah.
But you had that one pair that you wore the other night that are like with the straps on them.
Yeah, you like that shit.
I did like them.
Yeah.
Because you hadn't worn them and I forgot you got those and you pulled them out of the closet.
Yeah,
you were like, hey, I was like, put those on.
Yeah, that's fucking. That shit there was a fucking G-string basically with a fucking.
Those are so
nice
funny.
Fucking cup and shit. You put your fucking shit in there. And
it didn't quite fit. You kept kind of spilling out.
Yeah. It's hard to contain when it's not. All right. Fucking that shit will roll out of there like a bowling ball. All right.
Makes a bell tolling sound.
I'm a credit to my race. but anyway, it's like a G-string except it had a big elastic belt band like a regular set of underwear, and then it had going down the sides fucking straps with rings, and they fucking go down the sides, the inside and no, just the outside of your leg, and then the straps go around your fucking thighs. Like it's 3 straps and shit.
Yeah, like 2 or 3 straps.
Jen like that shit. And there's like
I was like, yeah, those are
it kind
nice.
of crisscrosses on the side.
Yeah.
It looks like bondage stuff.
Yeah, they're kind of like bondage looking.
Yeah. Jock stuff and bondage stuff happening at the same time.
I was into it. This hair is like pissing me off in the back, but it's like, you know what I mean? But yeah, I'm trying to think like, and I gave the kitties the toys, and I got these little mint sticks that they love. Well, Pookie loves them. I gave her a new one, and she just flipped her shit. She was just like, she's like, oh my god, and she's like stepping on it with her back legs and rubbing it on her face and like rolling around with it and kicking it and everything like that. And then I gave one to Bambi, and she was like, she didn't look at it. She was just like, Mama.
Yeah.
She doesn't care.
We got this little round ball that lights up and blinks, and it rolls all around the head.
It's got little feathers sticking out of the top.
On top of it. The cats chase it, and it's robotic.
Yeah, it's like got AI or something. Yeah, like a Roomba or something.
Thing is, it goes underneath the bed.
Yeah, but it comes back out.
Yeah, it takes a while. But
eventually. It knows to come back out.
I don't know how it does it.
I don't know.
It's just random.
It's a smart cat toy. And again, I showed it to Bambi, and she was like, fuck that noise, and she just ran away. She's like, I don't want any part of that.
Yeah.
Pookie was kind of scared of it, but then she kind of wanted to kill it, too.
Yeah.
So she just, like, chased that
She eventually kind of was following it around.
Yeah, she's like, okay, that's kind of... And then it bounced down the stairs, and she just, like, went running down after it. That was, like, pretty funny. But yeah. So, and man, we had Tom made a big ham.
Yeah.
Made the Brazilian cream corn.
Yeah.
Real mashed potatoes.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
We've already had a big plate of it earlier, like at 1.
Yeah.
it was like at 1 o'clock or something. And then we had another plate.
Yeah.
I'm
it's a
stuffed.
boneless ham, so it's good.
I'm stuffed.
Yeah.
I probably won't be. We're not going to be going to Circle K tonight. I don't even know.
No need to go to.
I don't even think. Will Circle K even be open on Christmas Day? Probably. I think they're always open. They're like Waffle House.
What's everybody
like
saying?
that.
What's everybody saying?
Yeah, let me go back because I think it was just kind of like Yeah, CB was saying, I hope Tom got you a good present for Christmas. Yeah, we got lots of good stuff.
Yeah, fucking
and like
microwaves.
I got like a red retro looking microwave.
Yeah,
we kind of bought that for each other because it matches our toaster oven up here.
We
have a microwave downstairs, but we wanted one up here too because we're lazy.
Yeah, so you don't have to go downstairs.
It's a
little one. It's a little pretty red one.
Yeah, like it looks like old school.
Yeah,
like retro, like 50s. Let's see. Zach says, I remembered a good case that would be a good episode. Madge, what is that? Oberholzer. She was raped by the leader of the KKK here in Indiana back in the 20s and died. It was a huge story. I remember that name.
That killed the Klan. Because of that, the Klan never recovered.
Well, I would hope not.
Yeah.
Yeah, let me write that down because I remember that name.
They lost all their membership. They just were like, people were like, they didn't want to be associated with that dude or that organization.
Well, yeah, like I said, that's good. And then I was trying to think, like, man, last night I was like, man, I want to watch some Christmassy stuff, you know? But it's just like we made coffee and put vodka in it, and then we ate some of the. My sister sent us like a little box of like various little treats like chocolates and little sausages and cheese and stuff. So we kind of sat in the room eating that, and I just ended up watching. I didn't even watch any Christmas horror movies other than the ones we reviewed. We watched was the new Mystery Science Theater, like the Christmas Dragon, and then I watched a Riff Tracks live of Santa Claus Conquers the Martians, and then after that we randomly picked again Jeffrey Combs. We picked another movie that I just randomly saw that had Jeffrey Combs in it. And also, it was an adaptation of the Dunwich Horror.
Yeah, it was good, but I fell asleep
from 2009, which I was like, I didn't even think they made this fucking movie. And, like, Jeffrey Combs was in it as Wilbur Whately, and Dean Stockwell was in it, who played Wilbur Whately in the old one, like the old Dunwich Horror from the 60s or whatever, because I reviewed that a while back. So I thought that was kind of a cool nod. Now,
There's differences, though, I think.
Yeah.
Stories.
I will say, well, the original, the movie, this one I think is slightly closer to the story than the original movie was, but the original movie was good too. A lot of people didn't like it at the time, but I really like it. But I will say that it kind of started out, I was like, I think this is going to suck.
Yeah, I'm the same way.
Like, the first scene, I was just kind of like...
First 5 minutes, you're like, this is...
Yeah, I don't know. But then, like, it got much, much better. Yeah. Like, as it went on, I'm like, oh, all right, this is an all right movie.
I was enjoying it, and then I fell asleep at the end.
You didn't really miss all that much. They basically just defeated...
Right.
I mean, now, the CGI didn't look super great, but, you know, it's a low-budget movie, and it was 2009, so... Yeah. You know, it wasn't really that bad.
There were some things about the story, though, that I think they changed. I haven't read that story since high school.
I meant to reread it today, and I totally forgot.
Yeah, okay.
I meant to, and I forgot.
I remembered it as Wilbur trying to steal the book and everything to kind of try to prevent his father, Yog Sothoth, from coming through. Not trying to make him come through. I thought he was trying to prevent it. But it's been a long time ago. And this one, he's stealing the book to get him to come through.
He wasn't there, and in the original movie they did that too, like same kind of thing as the new movie. So
I just might be remembering it wrong.
So now I can't remember.
I might be remembering it wrong. I thought he's stealing, because I remembered him kind of being a good guy back in high school. I thought he was trying to stop it from coming across. I remember how he was described as being goat-like.
Yeah.
And they do kind of talk about his legs. You don't see his legs. He's wearing clothes all the time, but his legs were red energy that were kind of fade in and out of dimension. It would, like, you know what I mean? Like, they become transparent.
Yeah.
Because he was slightly stuck in between dimensions. Because his dad was from another dimension. He was God. He was Yog Sothoth.
So that's kind of what they did in the 2009 movie that we just watched. They kind of just, like, whenever Jeffrey Combs was on screen, they would kind of like glitch the film would like glitch every now and then.
What they're doing, they're
like he was in another dimension,
slightly in another dimension.
Yeah, so I thought that was a pretty good way.
Yeah, they just did it in a different way
of doing that. But yeah, like I said, when it first started, I said, "Ooh, this looks like cheap and shitty." But as it went on, I was like, "Oh no, it's actually all right."
It got better.
Yeah. Kind of like that anthology we were watching the other day, which like I thought was really gonna blow, but then like it got better as it went on. So I'm glad I kind of kept watching.
Well, you know, the old ones, you know, fucking From Beyond and Reanimator, they were spotty also, even for the time. But they've just kind of aged into being classics. But the quality was kind of spotty. And this one was spotty. It was just more of a modern movie, so you're kind of harder on it for some reason.
Yeah, I try not to be like, because even when I was younger, I said I never wanted to be one of those cranky old farts that, you know, back in my day, everything was better. Because that's never true.
Yeah.
There's always good shit. That's why I try to keep up, especially like with horror movies, because that's kind of my main thing. But I always try to like watch new ones, and because I don't really like all these people. Because honestly, I mean, still like 70s and 80s are my favorite era for horror movies. But anybody that says, oh, they don't make good horror movies now is stupid.
It's hard to make that kind of movie in HD.
Yeah,
and it did not have a fucking like a filmic feel. It wasn't really like, you know, cinematic. It didn't have, you can tell it wasn't shot on film, you know.
Yeah.
It kind of felt like it was shot with a fucking high end fucking camera or a fucking phone. I meant.
Yeah.
Kind of what it was like. But it was good. The story was tight. Edit was good. The acting was pretty good.
Yeah, I actually didn't mind it as it went on.
Yeah.
You know, it had some problems, but I didn't mind it.
It was kind of on par with the old shit, though.
Yeah.
Overall. And
like I said,
had you shown that to us back then, we would have liked it.
Yeah.
You know.
A lot of people didn't like the one from, when the fuck did that come out? I want to say 1965, but it might have been later. The one that
I thought it was good.
The one that had Dean Stockwell when he was younger.
I remember it being cool. Kind of.
I think Roger Corman did that one, but I think I might be wrong about that.
I remember being kind of psychedelic a little bit.
Slightly, yeah, it is slightly. But they changed the story a lot too. Like Sandra Dee was in it.
Yeah.
So she was like an addition, like character, and she was supposed to bring forth like Yog Sothoth like through her virgin loins or whatever.
Yeah, through her virgin loins.
Yeah, that's how I put it. But yeah, I reviewed that a while back, and I was like, why do people shit on this movie? This was actually really good. But it's, you know, they made changes from the original story, but that's okay.
Drinking fucking Dollar General store fucking root beer and fucking Pinnacle vodka out of the plastic bottle.
Because we're classy motherfuckers.
Classy as shit right now. Classy as shit.
It's Christmas. We got the good stuff.
Fucking, yeah. Splurging.
We're splurging.
We've had this before, man.
The fucking dollar store root beer.
Root beer vodka, boy, it's good.
I mean, yeah, there's nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with that. I'm not like picky like that.
Yeah.
I'm not.
What else they ask?
I don't have to be all precious about it. Yeah, I've got to go way back. Yeah, CB said, Jenny, you look smoking hot tonight. Thank you very much. And then CB said, Tom, you look just the same as usual.
I'm gonna fucking kick you in your fucking ass. Of course, I look awesome.
You look the same as usual, he said.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's see. Have you guys covered the Ken and Barbie killers? Yes, I think we covered them on one of our Valentine's shows. Like we did. It wasn't they weren't the only topic. Like we did a killer couples. We used to do that every year for Valentine's Day.
I think we did a quick one on there.
And I think that we did like a show. We talked about them on there too. Murder Hornet is referencing L7 when we pretend that we're dead. I guess he's referencing L7.
Yeah, see, he does that shit.
I know that song.
Yeah.
Let me see.
Send that shit to me all day.
Zach said, now that you guys mention it, I don't think I've ever seen an overweight Asian woman who isn't middle-aged. Is that weird? Yeah, they don't get fat. I don't understand. Like, if we ate as much rice as they ate, holy crap, I would weigh 400 pounds.
They did. When I was in Korea, you would occasionally see an overweight young one. And working in the clubs, working in the brothel. And, because, let's face it, man, fucking there's a lot of American guys that like that look. You know what I mean? And fucking, she couldn't sell it to Koreans. They like fucking, especially back then, this was 80s. Fucking, they like a real skinny, fucking, childlike looking women, Neoteny is what they call it. And Westerners don't like the neotenous look. We like fucking tits and ass, and it looks like a full grown woman, and I like muscular too, and I like muscle and fat. Just if she's got a good shape, then I'll appreciate it. But there are some dudes, and a lot of them were in the army, and I'm not gonna fucking say it was cowboys, but let's just say it was most of them dudes that were cowboys. They love fucking fat girls.
Yeah, what is that about?
There's just something in them, man.
That's kind of like, I'm sure not all of them do, but there's enough of them that it's a trope.
Yeah, it's like,
I've noticed that also.
Yeah. If you were walking around the fucking fort, And you saw a dude in a fucking cowboy hat, and he had the fucking belt, and then you know the end of the belt, fucking, you know how the belt comes and it hang down straight down, like his excess belt and shit.
Excess belt.
Yeah, he has like a belt tied next to his dick. It's kind of like a symbolic for how big his dick was. Or
I'm thinking that's what it is.
What it was.
It's like, well, you can't see my actual dick because I'll get arrested, so I'm going to put this so you can have like a little preview.
And you know that bitch was lying. You know that bitch was lying.
Well, of course, he's not going to put like some little
he was
stubby.
exaggerating.
That would be super funny if he did that.
Yeah, but every one of those dudes I knew in the Army, and they were skinny. They tended to be skinny guys or athletic-looking, kind of wiry guys in the infantry. All had fat girlfriends.
Yeah.
Them and Pacific Islanders. Samoan guys.
They like a girl that'll eat. God damn it.
Samoan dudes, they love fat girls, man.
They don't like those chicks that just go out and eat salad.
I was looking at a bunch of us were at the club one time, and a Samoan guy was looking next to me from our platoon, and fucking us. I said, "You ain't gonna," I said, "Check that chick out over there." And she goes, "Man, she's too skinny." He said, "What do you mean?" She says, "I like fat girls." I said, "You like fat girls?" "I like them fat."
All right. Something for everybody.
Yeah.
That's all right.
Yeah, it's an island thing.
Like I said.
I don't know if the New Zealander guys are like that. The Maori, I don't know if they're into fat girls, but Samoans were into fat girls.
Yeah.
Samoans and Micronesians.
And
that Samoan one time was fighting with the Micronesians. They were smaller, kind of like they were like traditional enemies. And they're getting in a fight. And one of the squad leaders is going, "You shut the fuck up. You at ease that shit." And he's going, "But Sergeant, we eat these. We eat these." And they're getting mad and shit. And he's like a foot taller than them.
I would have just busted
"We
out
eat
laughing.
these." And I say, "You eat them?" He goes, "Yeah, we've been eating them for hundreds of years. Hundreds of years we've been eating these."
That's so funny.
They were fighting, yeah.
It's like, put them on.
And he wasn't lying. They're cannibals. Yeah.
Put them on a little thing like a cocktail shrimp.
Yeah. They look the same. The Samoan and Micronesian look about the same. Just the difference was the size.
That's hilarious.
Yeah.
See, they're like mini me's.
Yeah. Most Micronesians that made it to the army. A Micronesian in those days was kind of like the American version of a Gurkha, they were kind of like some guys that the British would fucking raise little Gurkha units. They'd use them. They were part of the British Empire. I don't know if they still do it. They probably do. Our version of that would be Micronesians. They had to go to a special island to go to the recruitment office. And every year, they had this Olympics, basically. And they only allowed the best ones that came out of that Olympics to go into the recruiter's office, because that island was very poor. It's a U.S. possession, basically. It was very poor. I don't know if it still is, but it was back then. If you got into the army, you could basically take care of your whole family by the time you were in there. They sent most of their pay back home, and the whole family lived off of it. So that was like a big deal. And they had more dudes than they had slots. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
So they only took the top ones. So the ones that we got, the 506, they came through us through Sad Hill, through basic training, and then they ended up going to the 506 in Korea. 506 was attached to the second ID back in those days. And most of them were only about 5'5", but they were had incredible endurance. They could climb trees, real strong swimmers. Their backs were incredibly fucking strong. They could carry 130 pounds in a fucking rucksack and carry that shit up and down mountains all day. They were tough, real tough, and real friendly, real kind of laid back. Yeah, man, this guy we're good. Yeah, they're just like that. Real chill personality. Samoans weren't. Samoans were aggressive. I like the Samoans too. They were like their version of Vikings.
CB says, me and the girlfriend were doing fetish for Christmas, but had to stop because the family showed up as a surprise.
Uh-oh.
Well, hopefully they gave you some warning before they came up knocking on the door. Hey, what are you guys doing in there? Peeking in the windows. Shit like that. That's fucking fucked up. And then Ben said, tell him you were rehearsing for a Christmas production at the community theater. That's pretty awesome. Oh, I forgot, like, I also gave Tom a really cool, like, silk print from Aliens, which, because we need all the artwork I have in here, we don't have any art, like, on the bedroom walls. Nothing.
Yeah.
Like, Tom painted it. It's a pretty, like, blue,
blue.
like a dark blue color.
Real dark blue, yeah.
And we have, like, those kind of laser lights, like, you know, galaxy stuff. So we have, like,
Yeah, and lights and
like lights and
lights,
stuff.
Floodlights.
But, yeah, we don't really have any art on the walls.
It looks like a theater in there, actually.
Well, now it does. Now that we have that
Yeah.
gigantic TV.
Yeah.
But,
Looks like AMC, but instead of red, it's blue.
yeah. But Tom got a big, like, it's a mural thing, kind of, but it's, like, cloth.
Yeah.
Like, fabric.
Yeah.
Of, like, this, like, big, like, goth chick.
Yeah, Goth Angel.
Yeah, we're gonna
She
hang
got
that
wings
over the
and
bed. And then,
Behind
and then the Aliens one I got, it's kind of, it's really cool. I don't know who did the artwork, but it's kind of, it looks a little retro wave, like it's kind of blue and magenta, and it's like really cool.
You know those little those little hangers that they gave us for that thing?
Yeah.
It's too much trouble. It's not how we're going to do it. I'm going down to the dollar store and I'm just going to get thumbtacks.
Thumbtacks, yeah, that probably works
and
better.
I'll color the thumbtacks if I have to.
Well, yeah, just see what color thumbtacks they got.
Because we can do that by hand.
Yeah.
Just stretch it out and start thumbtacking stuff. And because you can adjust the thumbtack if something's got too much slack in it.
Yeah, you can't
I can't
adjust
do that
that
with
other
other
thing.
stuff.
Yeah.
It'd have to be perfect from day one, and you're going to have too much slack in it. Because remember, it's got hooks. That's not going to work.
No, I don't think so.
I want it to be tight.
Yeah, because I think if you put the hooks there, it's just going to hang like that, and it's just like, I don't really want it to look like that.
That's what it's going to do.
Because it'll look like a curtain, and I don't really want it to look like that. I want it to be flat,
Like a mural.
flat
Like a mural.
against the wall.
Yeah, we're going to do that with thumbtacks.
And it's big. It's like, I couldn't believe how big it was. Like, when we got it.
Probably about 10 feet by about 8 feet, maybe.
Something like that, yeah.
Maybe
it's
12
it's
feet
gigantic.
by 10 feet, something.
It's gigantic.
It'll cover a whole wall of a small house.
Yeah. It's just, unfortunately, the bedroom that we have is very large.
Pretty big, yeah.
So, the walls are very large.
But they sell a bunch of different versions of those with different stuff on it. I'll probably get several of them. They weren't that expensive. They were like $10, I think.
Yeah, see, we could get some more of those.
Yeah, and they'd make better than wallpaper.
Yeah.
Kind of, and you can take it down.
Yeah,
Take
and
it
then
with
just put other ones in. Yeah,
Right.
you don't have to worry about it, and you don't really put that many holes in your walls or anything like that.
Well, thumbtack holes, paint fills those.
Yeah, that's what I mean. They're just tiny. Hopefully it'll hold it, but you could put a bunch of thumbtacks up there.
Yeah,
It's like, it'll be
something
alright. Yeah, somebody said... Oh, Burley said, I love Dean Stockwell. He was a child actor. Yeah, that's right. Acted basically his entire life. Yeah, I mean, he was in some good shit. He was in a lot of David Lynch movies and all that kind of shit. CB said, Tom, what do you think about the Sammy the Bull Gravano movie getting made?
I don't know anything about it.
I don't know about that either. But we got to go see Nosferatu this weekend.
Yeah.
Today I watched...
We could see it tomorrow, probably.
Yeah, we might... Yeah, actually, we probably could. If we're not doing anything else.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe we should. Because I think it just started today.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah,
I'm
we
like...
see that shit tomorrow,
I'm
probably.
pretty jacked to see it.
Okay.
So that'll be the next movie review.
Yeah.
Is Nosferatu.
Tomorrow's Thursday.
Yeah.
And that'd be a good day.
It would, yeah, probably.
Although you think it might be crowded as fuck.
I don't know. Maybe not during the daytime.
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, I guess we can just see...
Because that's the holiday.
Yeah, but a lot of... Well, it's kind of hard to say. It's Christmas Day. We don't have Boxing Day in the U.S., so most people have to go back to work, I guess, tomorrow. Unless they took the rest of the week off. But, I don't know. We'll see. We'll look and see if it's crowded.
You can see how many people are...
See how many people are, like, buy the tickets before you buy the tickets.
How many seats are taken.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Because I don't want to go if there's, like, 40 bajillion people in there because they can't keep their fucking trap shut. Mostly. But, what else was I going to say? Oh, today I watched The First Omen, which I actually didn't really have that much interest in seeing previously. But then I've been trying to see, like, all the movies that are kind of turning up on all these, like, best horror movies of 2024 lists. And that was kind of one of the first ones that I hadn't seen yet. And it was on Hulu, so I figured, I'm not really doing anything else, so I watched it. And that was actually surprisingly good. It's a prequel to The Omen from 1976, so it's basically telling the story of... Because, when they give baby Damian to to fucking what's his name? To the ambassador guy. They say that, you know, you find out later that they actually killed their baby, I guess, and then gave him this other one. Well, you're finding out where Damian came from, like who his mom was, and it's like her story. Okay. You know what I mean? Right. So it's set. A prequel. Yeah, that's what I just said. So it's set in like the early 70s in Rome, and
was it good?
Yeah, I mean I liked it. It was like a lot better than I was expecting it to be.
Okay.
Like I said, I probably wouldn't have watched it if it hadn't like turned up on a lot of people's lists. So I was like, I'll check it out if it's free.
I liked the Omen series.
Yeah, so you might like it actually. Yeah. I thought it was pretty good. I even
liked the final conflict when he became president.
Yeah.
And then Deus Ex Machina came and saved the universe.
Yeah, I know. I like when that happens. Zach says, fun fact, I'm pretty sure the new 28 Years Later, I'm excited about that too, was shot on the newer iPhone, and it looks amazing. Yeah, you can shoot some good stuff on that iPhone nowadays. Let's see. Yeah, Broly said vodka mixes with pretty much anything. Yeah, that's why we get it.
Yeah. Well, we get rum sometimes too.
Yeah, because rum mixes with most things.
Yeah.
Some things it doesn't work. But you know what I mean. Yeah, Phantom says they got Mountain Dew with alcohol now, which is crazy. Yeah, you can buy that in can. What's it called? Mountain Dew.
I don't remember.
Something. It comes in a can like this like premixed cocktails.
Yeah, it's like beer.
Yeah. Why is that light not on?
I don't know.
Did I forget to turn it on, or did it just go off, or?
Must have gone off.
Maybe I just didn't hit the button because I went through turning all the lights on. I don't think it'll make a huge difference, but I thought it seemed a little dark in here. Kenny says when we're talking about why cowboys like fat girls. Whoops.
What was that?
Oh, that was the
post it.
Yeah. Don't lose that because that's got the Wi-Fi password on it. I should probably write those down somewhere else. Yeah, talking about the cowboys liking fat women. Kenny says cowboys know those buxom women are going to give them country strong offspring.
It must be.
I think that's what it is. And like I said, I think they like a woman they can take to like a all you can eat country buffet.
Yeah. But another thing is that I noticed, we noticed that they liked big fat women that bossed them around.
Huh.
They kind of were like dominant.
Maybe it reminded them of their mamas.
I don't know.
CB said, my girlfriend is a filthy bitch, the best kind of woman. Tom would tend to agree. He likes filthy bitches.
Yeah, sometimes.
Sometimes he likes filthy bitches.
Yeah, they can't be that bad. I don't want them walking down OBT or anything, you know. Selling it to the fucking cars going by.
That's Orange Blossom Trail.
Yeah, that's where
for those not from Central Florida.
Yeah.
That's where all the hookers used to hang out.
Yeah.
OBT. Shit, I remember back.
They're not even good-looking hookers.
No, these are like the meth.
Yeah,
they're making money from meth. Yep. Is pretty much where all. Yeah. I don't know if it's. I don't go down there anymore. I used to go down there all the time because I used to work down there. So I went down OBT like pretty much every morning, and sometimes you'd see, you know, the morning shift.
Yeah.
You know, kind of, or ones left over from the night before, looking kind of rough and everything like that. But
yeah,
I don't know if it's still like that.
Yeah, I don't even think they have pimps. Pimps were like, oh hell no.
It's like
you have some of them though. When we passed them, that did look like traditional streetwalkers and the outfits and everything. But they were. You could tell they were low end. Florida, the Orlando area, they don't really have streetwalkers. Not really. Any girl worth her salt would be an escort. She'd be working off of one of those apps.
Well, especially nowadays.
Nowadays, yeah. Maybe Backpage. She's working out of a hotel room. She's add-on. That was back in the old days when they had Backpage, but they did that, you know. But you didn't just walk around in public all day.
I mean,
cops would get you here.
Yeah.
But for some reason, they don't care about OBT or South OBT.
Yeah, I don't even really know, and it's been like that for as long as I can remember. Because I remember there being jokes about OBT when I was a kid.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And that was a very long time ago.
Well, it's a real poor neighborhood down there. Behind all that.
Yeah.
And I guess the cops just kind of said, well, it's going to happen anyway. You know, they didn't seem to really be worried about it that much. Maybe they just made sure it didn't get out of hand.
Yeah.
If there were too many of them, maybe they would stop it.
I guess. I don't really know. Ben says, have you ever seen the Spanish film Day of the Beast? Yes, I have. I actually reviewed it probably a couple of Christmases ago because it's a Christmas movie. But I don't think Tom saw it, but I saw it. It's excellent if you haven't seen it. It's like a horror comedy. Like, it's super funny.
Side Quest is here. What's up, Side Quest?
Yeah. She said was playing Total War, didn't notice you guys started.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know Total War.
I don't know that one either.
Yeah.
Tom's been playing that. What is that game called that you've been playing?
There's several of them.
The lady wrestler one?
Yeah, but I've also been doing The Thing.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
The old Thing from the fucking 2000s.
That's a cool game, actually.
Yeah, they remastered it, and you get it on Xbox. Xbox One. So I played that, and then I was playing one called Rumble Roses XX. Yeah, and it's a female wrestling game. It's like all kinds of wrestling moves, like the WWE, and you got to buy them outfits. They work out when they when they start winning fights and you do new moves. It gives you the ability to like upgrade her musculature.
Yeah.
And and her weight will all change, and the strength and the moves that she can do. And she has to make all this money. Each one of them, there's about 30 of them. You got to play them all. And as you upgrade one, you try to fight him with another one that isn't upgraded, you're going to get your asses kicked. So you got to upgrade them all little by little. Because I started focusing on that Texas chick. Well, I forgot what her name was.
It's a weird name.
Yeah.
Dixie something.
Dixie something or other. And she was like a heavyweight. Big chick, big boobs and stuff. They all got big boobs, kind of. Except the Japanese girls. The Japanese girls don't, but they get bigger. It's just,
yeah, you can make them.
You can make them bigger. You got to earn it.
You have to earn those bigger boobs.
Yeah, but
it's kind of hilarious.
I got her pumped up almost to maximum, and I couldn't beat her with anybody else. So I had to fight other girls who weren't as big. She became champion too soon, you know.
Oh, okay.
That's what it seemed like, you know. And I found out there's like some hidden shit you could do. Once her popularity goes up above 70, you can select a superstar version of them. They show up in a different outfit and with more moves. You know, a lot of them more taunts and shit, because they taunt people and fucking smackdowns and fucking new holds and shit.
We were just wondering if there was. I was wondering if there was secret nudity, because you know that there's
probably eventually
once you get to like, because their outfits are like pretty skimpy.
Yeah, well, they get skimpier and skimpier.
Like, as it goes, so I'm kind of
you're buying skimpier and skimpier, but the thing is, you're trying to the thing is that you're having matches in different areas. The one at the beaches, you want to wear a fucking bikini, so they're wearing some real fucking micro bikinis and shit. Japanese girls don't have those though, so see, you have to buy that extra. The Japanese girls have little short shorts and blouses. Like when they go to the beach, you know, little frilly looking shit.
That's their little beach.
That's their little thing, yeah. But the white girls and the black girl all come with fucking, like, they come with sexy shit.
Because we're all hoes.
They got them stereotyped, yeah.
Yeah, I had never heard of that game. I didn't realize that
these guys made this fucking game.
Because they make most games, I kind of feel like. But I didn't realize that it was called, what's it called? Rose something?
Rumble Roses.
Rumble Roses, but it's just XX?
XX.
So it's not XXX.
No, it's just XX.
So there's no...
And that has something to do with the
porn
moves
involved.
They're baiting you. As you fight, there's like a new chain of moves opens up in there, and I haven't gotten to the XX moves. Okay. There's HY moves, H moves, and XX moves.
Okay. Remember Wang did that video about that game that tanked, like there was BMX XXX or something that was just like chicks with big titties like riding BMX bikes or something. Yeah. I don't even remember what the point of it was.
I think he said he liked it though. He said it was a fun game.
Well, see, did it ever come out? Because it came out, I guess, but it just seemed like they had all these problems with it because of the nudity.
Yeah, sponsorship, I think, problems.
Like sponsorship problems, and like places like Walmart and stuff like wouldn't carry it, which they should have thought of that beforehand. Like if you have anything like that, like Walmart's not going to carry that shit in their stores. That's just how.
Yeah.
That's just how they roll.
The Rumble Roses is an old game.
Yeah.
It might be 15 years old.
How'd you find that? You just kind of randomly came across it?
No, because I was looking for a game called Soul Calibur, which is a sword fighting game.
Oh, okay.
And on Xbox One, they're showing it, but they say not available. So then underneath it were other suggestions of games that were like that.
Oh, okay.
And one of them was Rumble Roses. So I looked at that, and the guys that were fucking making comments, the reviews, they go, okay, guys, we all know why we're here. That was the first one. I said, I'm going to buy this bitch. It was cheap, you know what I mean? We all know why we're here. It's a fun game, you know what I mean? It's easy to play and fucking,
You can play it with one hand while you're doing other things with your other hands.
Yeah.
That's a plus.
Yeah. So they don't make new games like that anymore.
I mean, maybe they do. I don't know.
Not really. They're trying to tone everything down. You know, they got those women working in there. Women aren't built like that. Yeah, they are. You're not built like that. That was that fucking funny thing where dudes were drawing anime or looking at anime, and they'd have these girls jump in there and goes, girls are not built like that. That's ridiculous. And then some girl who's a fucking cosplayer jumps in that outfit with those fucking huge titties and that fucking everything about. She goes, yes, they do. They look just like that. And they get mad. Yeah, a woman can look like anything if you work for it and pay for it. Yeah.
Well, yeah, a lot of times.
You can look like anything.
A lot of times you gotta pay for it.
Yeah, you gotta pay for it a lot of times. You're not born with boobs like that.
Maybe it's Maybelline. Murder Hornet says Blowfly Girl. Yeah, that's all he said about that.
Blowfly Girl.
If you don't know, we're not gonna say what that is, but most people probably know. I've never that's probably one of the only gross Wang videos that I can actually watch. That for some reason that one,
watch all those gross ones.
That one doesn't gross me out as much as some of the other ones do.
Blowfly Girl was kind of a mentally disturbed chick that was on the internet going into dumpsters and getting naked in the dumpster and putting rotten food and maggots all over and stuff like that, and rubbing one out, having a sexual experience with the shit. And she was writing on, I think it was Reddit, wasn't it?
No, she had like a blog.
Yeah.
But I don't remember. It was some old school blogging platform that doesn't exist anymore.
And she wrote for years and would disappear and would come back, tell what she was been doing. And she was real self-deprecating, and she would just tell fucking stories of the weird shit she would do to herself. Put rotten meat up inside of her and lay in her bed and let everything fucking crawl out with the fucking maggots and stuff. And she said she just destroyed herself, her reproductive capability. The doctor said she probably won't ever have it because she was just doing weird shit to herself involving rot.
Yeah, she had all kinds of infections and whatnot.
Yeah. And she was like...
it's pretty nasty.
And people, there was one part where somebody early on was, are you hot? She goes, no, I'm hideous. I'm disgusting. She's like, I'm ugly.
She's probably not as bad as she says she is.
She thought she was. She never did show herself.
Yeah.
But they're pretty sure that she did. She had pictures of stuff.
Yeah.
She took pictures of a dead deer that got ran over, and she's touching it and grabbing it, and it's pretty fucking rotten. You know. You just see her hand and shit. Yeah, that was Blowfly Girl.
Yeah, that was actually the first time I heard that story, I'm like, I don't know if I buy that, but the more he talked about it,
I think it was real.
I think it was because she went on with it for a long time. I'm like, if that was, a troll or something like that, she kept it going for years and years.
She'd also reappear and go, yeah, I haven't done that in a while.
Yeah.
She says, I feel a little bit better. I haven't been getting into the fucking maggots and the rot,
But every now and then she'd be driving somewhere and be like, "Ooh, look at that dumpster over there."
And she'd be like, "I actually went on a date." That kind of weird shit. Fucking went on a date with a guy, it didn't work out.
Wouldn't that be weird if you went on a date with somebody and then later you found out it was Blowfly Girl?
Yeah. And you were going down on her.
How would you feel about that if you found out about that?
Mad.
I'd get mad. That does seem like something.
Some worms would fucking crawl out of her fucking.
Something like that. I kind of feel like that's something you might want to divulge.
She said her womb wasn't to give birth to life, but to give birth to death, and the only life that she gave birth to were these maggots.
Yeah.
This chick was fucking disturbed, man.
I'm telling you, man.
Yeah.
You think dudes come up with some fucked up shit?
Women come up with some weird shit.
They come up with some weird shit. It's just most of the time we keep it to ourselves. You know what I mean? She laid it all out there. I never thought of anything that fucked up, but not to do to myself anyway.
Shit, yeah.
Ben said, have you guys had Christmas dinner yet? Yeah, we actually ate early, and then we just had, like, more of it. Yeah. Like, probably an hour or two ago.
Yeah, but Wang, you can go on YouTube and Wang will tell you all about Blowfly Girl.
He has a couple of videos about her. He has one and then, like, an update one.
Yeah. Yeah. Mm. He's a good teller of that story.
It's in his gross.
He has chronicled that history.
Well, somebody's got to.
Yeah, that channel is really good at fucking old internet history and lost internet stuff, like lost fucking what do they call it? Lost media.
Yeah.
You know, like lost fucking cartoons, you know.
Yeah, those are like my favorite ones, like lost songs and
lost
episodes of TV shows and stuff like that. Lost video games.
Yeah.
Or video games that never happened or something. But he's like really good at diving into the history of it because he's really into that kind of stuff. But
there was one where fucking like for a couple years, this dude was fucking trying to figure out what was on this hard drive. Was it a hard drive or a flash drive?
It was a hard drive.
It was a hard. I thought it was a flash. He found a hidden flash drive.
No, it was a hard drive.
It was a hard drive. Okay.
It was like sewn inside, like a bag.
A bag
that they bought at a garage sale or a thrift store or something.
In there was sewn.
Or if that's what the story was.
Somebody had sewed a hard drive in there. I thought he said it was a flash drive, but maybe it was a hard drive.
No, because I remember the picture of it.
And he goes on. I think it might have been Reddit. Saying, look what I found. He tells the story. This is what I found in there. People are like, oh, there's going to be some heavy shit on that.
Yeah, why did somebody sew that in a bag?
Yeah, you know. And he didn't have the kind of computer it took or something to read it. And people were fucking hounding this dude for fucking a long time, you know, telling him what he had to do. Oh, he sent it to me. I'll fucking do it. He's not really responding. And then like a year later, he shows up going, oh, yeah, I forgot all about that. I had other shit I was going to do, you know, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, I'll do that. We're going to do something with it. And then he disappears again. And he comes back like 3 or 4 years later onto that thing.
Yeah, it might have been like 6 years later. It was like a ridiculous amount.
Like, he says, I remember this post. I started this post a long time ago. He goes, yeah, that thing, I think he said he threw it out, didn't he?
No.
Or he forgot about it?
No, spoiler alert, it was a hoax.
It was a hoax, okay.
He just made it up.
Okay, that's what it was, okay.
Him and his friend were like 14.
Yeah.
And one of their dads owned a computer parts store.
That's right.
And they just thought this would be a funny joke to like put it. And it went on for like years and years. And people were just kind of like...
Yeah.
Because this one guy was going to...
Pulling people's hair out.
Yeah, like this one guy was going to do it. But he's like, the dude never sent it to me. Like, I don't know, like, you know, and everything like that. But then it found out later he was just like trolling. And everyone was like, get him. But see, that's the thing. There's kind of a thing on Reddit where, especially in anything like that, like lost media stuff, or, hey, I just moved into this house and I found this weird locked room in my basement or a safe or something like that. And it's just like anytime they have that, it's like 99 times out of 100, somebody's just faking. They're just trying to get they're just trying to get attention. And he's like, and Wang's like, anytime there's a fucking hard drive, it's like, you know, they're always going to have some excuse why they can't access it, or somebody's like, send it to me, I'll access it. Oh, there's some reason why he can't do that, or some other kind of thing. So it's like, most of the time it's like fucking bullshit, you know what I mean? Let's see. CB said, a woman who likes having maggots in her pussy probably is the type that helps a serial killer get his victims. Probably. I imagine that is that's quite an overlap on that Venn diagram. Zach says, Jen, I know you like Stir of Echoes. Looks like there's a 4K version of it that's out now. Ooh, that's awesome. Because, yeah, if you've never seen Stir of Echoes, that's a movie that I always, like, recommend to people as one that's, like, really underrated. I don't even know if it's still, because I kind of feel like it's gotten more traction nowadays. It's from, like, 1999 or something. But it got forgotten about because it came out at right around the same time as, The Sixth Sense, which, of course, obliterated every other movie that year, pretty much. And it's really a shame, because honestly, I don't know if this is a controversial opinion, but I think that Stir of Echoes is a better movie than The Sixth Sense. And this might have been over on my Scare Salon channel, but I did, like, a really complicated comparison of the movie with the original Richard Matheson novella. technically it's a novella. It's not that long, but because they're a lot different. Like the basic frame of the story is the same, but like pretty much everything else about it is different. So that took me like a while. Oh, and if you are not subscribed to my Scare Salon channel, yesterday I put up an 1.5 hour long video. Yes, it was an 1.5 hour long. That's how long it ended up being. I reviewed all of the Ghost Story for Christmas that were on British TV from 1971 to 1978. Oh, and I also covered the Whistle and I'll Come to You from Omnibus from 1968. Because Shudder added them all, like the other day, and I was like super jazzed about it. So I was like, ooh, I'm just gonna watch all of these and review them because you know how I do. And the video ended up being an 1.5 hour long because it was like 9 episodes of television that were between 30 and 50 minutes each one, and they're almost all classic ghost stories. Most of them are M.R. James. There's one Charles Dickens in there, and then there's a couple of contemporary ones that were written specifically for the series, which I didn't love those. They're pretty good. I thought they were like interesting ideas, but you know, they kind of canceled it too, although it came back later on, but they kind of canceled it after that. I don't think people liked it as much. I think they like the classic ghost stories more because that's more of a Christmassy kind of thing. I think Oracle might have asked what we had for Christmas dinner. Oh, we made like a glazed ham and
mashed potatoes.
Real mashed potatoes and the Brazilian cream corn.
Yeah.
That's in our cookbook.
Yeah, it was real simple. I didn't want to fucking spend a lot of time on it.
And we didn't even really make desserts or anything. Although we have like candy and cookies and we got a whole fuck ton of like pastries.
Ice cream making stuff.
I was telling him today at the dinner table, I was like, wow, you can make some coffee ice cream.
I can do that.
I mean, you don't have to make it today. You could just like, you know what I mean?
I got the stuff to make it.
Yeah. Asking about Stir of Echoes, Ben said, is it a ghost, a guilty memory, a delusion? It's Kevin Bacon, isn't it? Yeah, it's basically... The setup of it is Kevin Bacon gets hypnotized by his sister-in-law at a party, and then she basically gives him a post-hypnotic suggestion to like have a more open mind or whatever, because he's very skeptical, and he starts seeing visions of this girl that looks like is being beat up or murdered or something. So it's kind of this mystery that he's trying to solve, like, while he's seeing these visions. So he, like, his psychic powers get turned on, I guess. And he also has, like, a kid that's psychic, but he doesn't factor into the story, like, all that much. But it makes me really sad because I saw that in the theater when it came out, and I thought it was really scary. And I think I love The Sixth Sense, but I think The Stir of Echoes is a better movie than The Sixth Sense. It has more rewatchability. I feel like The Sixth Sense... You see it once, and you're like, ooh, twist ending. And then maybe you watch it again to, like, pick up all the clues for the twist ending. And then after that, you don't really need to watch it again. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. I kind of feel like that's easily, you know, M. Night Shyamalan's best movie. Still, his first one. But I would still argue The Stir of Echoes is better. Let's see. What did I do? Hold on. Oh, and Phantom said the Changeling clearly kind of inspired Stir of Echoes. Yeah, although, like I said, it was based on a novel, a Richard Matheson novel that came out in the 50s. 1959, I think the Richard Matheson novella came out. They changed a lot. They changed the setting. They changed, like, the city where it took place. They changed kind of the social class, if you want to say that, of, like, the characters and a bunch of other stuff, but... They're both good. But the cool thing about it is that, and I said this in my review, is that even if you've seen the movie or read the book, like, it won't ruin it because the outcome is kind of different. You know what I mean? It's still, like, the same thing where he gets hypnotized and he starts having psychic visions of, like, a ghost that's somebody that's murdered. But that's pretty much the only thing that's similar. Like, everything else is different. Like, who gets murdered, how, like, the circumstances around it and everything like that are different. So, it won't spoil it. Like, if you read one of the other...
I just tried to get that thing out. It got shut down.
Yeah. I don't remember the password.
I think I know.
Didn't we have to change it?
I think so, but I think we just...
We changed it a long time ago because I forgot it the first time, and then it's been so long since I looked at it that I forgot it again.
There's a challenge phrase. Well, I thought it went... It already went through that, though. No?
Already went through what?
I'm gonna shut it down.
Yeah, just start it over. Just start it over. Yeah, Phantom said Stir of Echoes 2 sucked Balloon Knot. I didn't even bother with it because I was like, what's the point of that? American Military said the Adam Walsh episode was great. Yeah, we did that a while back. Have you considered doing the case of Stephen Stainer from I Know My First Name is Steven thing? I have that written on my list. I think I put it in the poll a couple times, but I don't think it's one yet. But I'll write it down again, but I'm pretty sure I already have it on the list somewhere. But I mean, I'm pretty sure, but just in case. Just in case. Zach says, I never thought The Changeling was scary, but I loved how it was a classic ghost story mixed with a murder mystery. Yeah, I tend to really like that trope. The Changeling is kind of more... I just rewatched it probably a couple months ago, wasn't it? Because I was like, I think it's on Shudder, and I was just scrolling through Shudder, and I was like, oh man, I feel like watching The Changeling again. So I watched because I've seen it a bunch of times. But, I mean, everything about it, it's more like eerie, I think.
Yeah.
Than outright scary.
Well, George C. Scott fucking, delivers on that one. You know what I mean?
He's so good in that movie.
If he wasn't in that movie would kind of been forgotten.
He's so good in that.
Yeah.
Because, like I said, it's kind of like if General Patton is
yeah.
scared of the shit, then, some creepy shit's happening. You know what I mean? But, let's see. CB said, spoiler alert, Stir of Echoes pissed me off when you find out the murdered girl had special needs. Yeah, but I don't really think... It didn't have a huge amount to do with the plot, other than she was just, like, kind of taken advantage of, I guess. But, again, that's not... the book is not like that, because a different person gets murdered in the book. A person that's not in the movie. Because the movie has, like, completely different characters. And it's, like, a lot more extended. Like I said, I did, like, a whole long video over on my other channel about it. And it's a lot different. I like to do those book versus movie comparisons, but like I did one for The Sentinel not that long ago, and I did one for Burnt Offerings, although that was pretty easy to do because the movie is almost exactly like the book, except for the beginning, which is a little bit different. But other than that, it's almost... And how the people die at the end is like a little bit different, but that's about it. And then I did one for The House Next Door by Anne Rivers Siddons. Which they made into a Lifetime movie, of all things. Which I was just kind of like, how good can that be? But it was actually pretty good. They changed a lot, but they kind of had to. But, I don't know. I thought they did a good job for a Lifetime movie.
I put our normal password in there.
Mm-hmm.
And it didn't work. Blocked me out again. Didn't we write the new password down?
No, of course not. Why would I do that?
Yeah, right. I thought we had that written down around
Well,
here.
see, it would be some variation of this.
Yeah.
I'm not going to say it out
Yeah,
loud.
I know exactly what you're talking about.
It's either this or
it's one of them
that,
variations.
like that,
Yeah.
or that.
Yeah.
Probably.
Or wait a minute, yeah, it may have an exclamation point.
Or it might have two. I don't think I tried that.
Okay.
I think I tried it with one and I tried it with three.
Okay.
But it might have two.
Okay.
So I don't really know. Let me see. Erica Lynn said, I hear that Netflix's next monster series. We saw the they did one on Jeffrey Dahmer. I saw the Jeffrey Dahmer one. They did one on the Menendez brothers too, but I didn't watch that one. So they're gonna do one about Ed Gein. I think you guys covered him a while back, and that's like a fictional one, right? Because the Menendez brothers one was like a fictional. I think it was 9 episodes, and I think was that Javier Bardem in that? Didn't he play their dad? Mm-hmm. I might watch that one of these days, but I was just like, I was gonna watch it before we did the show about them last week, but I was like, yeah, I don't have time because it was 9 episodes, so I just watched the documentary instead. Let me see. Phantom says, what's Tom and Jenny's thoughts about the 1983 film Class, starring Rob Lowe and Andrew McCarthy? Holy shit, I haven't seen that.
Never seen it.
I saw it, but it was so long ago that I don't even think I remember what happens in it. Yeah, about McCarthy's character unknowingly hooking up with Rob Lowe's character's mother. Oh, that's right. Yeah. That used to be on cable all the time. It was like on HBO. I don't know if I ever saw the whole thing straight through, though. Like, I remember seeing, like, bits of it. Because you really couldn't avoid... Because Andrew McCarthy and Rob Lowe were both in the Brat Pack, you know?
Yeah.
So, you know, they were in all the fucking... well, Andrew McCarthy was in Pretty in Pink. And then both of them were in St. Elmo's Fire. Which... I must have seen St. Elmo's Fire, like, a bajillion times, like, back in the day. When did that come out? 85? Did you ever see that?
If I did, I don't remember it.
It had... Everybody was in that. Demi Moore was in that. Judd Nelson was in that. Emilio Estevez in that?
I wouldn't have remembered something like that back in those days.
I don't remember. It was pretty good. It was like a drama comedy kind of. Yeah. It wasn't really, but it wasn't like. It was kind of like a John Hughes movie, but for older.
Okay.
Like people just coming out of college.
Okay.
Kind of. You know what I mean? Whereas the John Hughes movies were like high school students. It was that kind of thing. Phantom says Virginia Madsen shows her boobs in the film class. I always liked her, actually. She was in... I
don't remember her boobs or her.
She's in Candyman. Okay, the blonde the blonde from Candyman. Burley says, I kind of hated St. Elmo's Fire. I could see that. Like, I don't know. I have, like, kind of nostalgic warm fuzzies for it. I haven't seen it in a long time, though. Just because I saw it all the time when I was younger, like when I was a teenager. But when you think about it now, like, those characters, a lot of them were pretty obnoxious. I think wasn't Ali Sheedy in that too? I think Ali Sheedy was in it also. Everybody was in that one. That was like the ultimate Brat Pack movie.
Yeah, somebody mentioned that Rob Lowe got canceled for fucking those 17-year-old girls.
On video.
I thought it was just one. It was two?
I thought she was 16.
Okay. He said there were two 17 or that.
Wait, was it two?
I think it was one. Yeah, she was like 16, I think, 17.
I kind of remember them showing like bits of the... I mean, it was like a shitty... Yeah, it was like a shitty video because it was the 80s, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
That was just
like
kind
a
of
video camera.
Man, if you're gonna fuck underage, well, don't fuck underage girls. I'm just, you know what I mean. But I'm saying if you're gonna do that, don't fucking film it. Duh.
Maybe he didn't know or didn't care or didn't think that was an issue.
I kind of feel like dudes that do that, I think they film it so they can trade it with other fucking perverts. Is what they do.
Other perv celebrities.
Other perv celebrities that are like, hey.
I think the girl knew what was up though, wasn't she?
I have no idea.
Think she knew.
I don't remember like the circumstances.
Yeah.
Around that. Yeah, CB said he had a three-way.
It was a three-way? Right.
Okay. See, I didn't remember that. I just remember. Yeah. I remembered it being one 16-year-old girl.
Yeah.
Just goes to show. Like I said, it was a long time ago. And I just only vaguely remember like a lot of the celebrity scandals from that time period because I didn't really pay a lot of attention.
That was actually a very minor one compared to what.
Well, compared to some of the other shit
they were doing. Yeah.
Well, and some of the other shit that was going on that didn't come out until later, like all the Bill Cosby shit.
Yeah.
Everybody fucking loved Bill Cosby, America's dad, like back in the 80s, and he was up to all that fucking nefarious.
Fucking serial rapist.
Jesus Christ. Who would have thought?
Yeah.
Well, I guess a lot of people did know, but...
Yeah, I think a lot of women knew that he was doing that, but then what
Well, it would get... I mean, it would get out, wouldn't it?
Well, nobody... I don't think anybody would believe him.
Mm. Yeah, that's kind of the shitty thing. It's kind of shitty. It's like, how many women do you need before you'll believe that this person is like... It has to, like, rack up. If it's just one or two, everybody's like, nah, that's probably not happening.
You know, women have to realize that what they see on the screen is not reality. You know what I mean? He's playing those characters. That's not who that dude really is.
Well, duh. I mean,
then,
we're not dumb.
And then, you know, I'm going to the second... Go to phase 2. Then that dude... knows that he has social position far above just a regular civilian chick.
Yeah, of course.
He's going to do something to you. He could do something to you, and you could probably go to the law, and if there was no absolute tangible evidence, like you weren't beaten up or something, or even if you were, the cops may not believe you.
No, of course not.
They'd be like, no, I don't know who that woman is. Yeah. Or she's setting me up. Just setting me up for, you know, a lawsuit. Yeah.
Well, yeah, and I think that's why a lot of dudes like that do that kind of crap because they know they can get away with it because they're like, look, yeah, go tell the police.
Yeah.
They're not going to do anything to me.
Nope.
They're not going to believe you.
Yeah.
Because I'm famous and you're not.
Right.
And I'm rich and you're not.
Yep.
So, you know.
Which fucking all right. Look at fucking Child Island man, old fucking Jeffrey Epstein. He was hunting out of this state, getting girls out of fucking Florida. Little fucking trailer park girls, pretty trailer park girls from Florida, and taking them in mass. Evidently, it's like, you know, fucking think he was recruiting like 150 of them a month at certain times. Isn't that what that documentary said?
Something like that, yeah.
Yeah, and then taking them to that island and having them rich guys fuck them. He did that shit for fucking decades.
Yeah.
A long, long time. And women knew about it. And fucking, he was running a Diddy operation, you know? You were going to go in there and he was going to I don't know if they knew that they were being recorded. They probably did. That's probably how you joined the gang. They got some dirt on you, now they trust you and you do what they say and they got your back type of deal. We'll give you a contract. You know, we'll send business your way. That kind of you can come here and fuck these girls anytime you want. It's that kind of shit. That was happening in modern America recently. The thing is, though, is that what was his name? Brett Weinstein is a professor we have here who met Epstein. Epstein tried to recruit him. He told some wild stories. And he said that he looked at that operation. He says, looking at it now, he didn't know everything at the time that he knew well enough that this dude, there was something up with him, that it was CIA or something. He didn't want to work with him. He said that whole operation is impossible to run in a world with cell phones and internet. He says that the cell phones and internet fucking destroyed that. Which led him to believe that operation and operations like that had been going on for a long, long time. And that nobody knew. It wasn't discovered until cell phones.
Well, yeah, I'm sure.
Yeah.
But that's the thing, like you said, if you have like a dude like that in power, here's what's weird though. It just seems to me, I guess they know they can get away with it, but why are so many dudes so head up about, hey, let's fuck 13-year-olds? Like, what is that about?
All right, well, what's his name?
You're willing to like risk your entire fucking...
Alex Jones had a great take on it. He said they're probably not into that at all. It's just that in order to join the gang, you have to be videotaped doing it.
Well, yeah, I'm sure that's
and then, because now they got dirt on you, so they trust you, and you can join. That's probably all it is.
I'm just saying, well, it's not even so much that because there's a lot of just random scumbag dudes that aren't famous that do that shit too. Yeah. So it's like, it's obviously a thing that people are willing to go to prison over, I guess, or they think they're not going to get caught. I was like, is it really that great? Come on now.
Well, dudes that are going for them that young have self-image problems.
Well, obviously, among other things.
Yeah, and for all you know, fucking, especially the ones that are the PDF files that like real young ones and shit. I think an adult woman would be a threat to them, and they realized they couldn't satisfy a fucking adult woman maybe because of the way they are.
Yeah, that's all it is. I mean, and they're just fucking.
There's a different power dynamic, you know what I mean, between this. So he's more comfortable with that, and for all you know, the dude's hung like a chipmunk. You don't know, you know what I mean. So there's a lot of them out there, though.
Well, yeah, I know there are.
So. But I think AJ had a good explanation. That was how they joined the gang, basically. And now they weren't all super young. A lot of them were just 18.
No, I know that,
17.
but I'm talking more about like the more extreme examples.
Yeah, the one that Epstein's on. I think he brought some of them in there that were fucking 19, 20.
Yeah, there were also some 13, 14-year-olds too.
Yeah, oh yeah, he went down that young. But I think it was more. I think it was more common, like 15, 16. I think that was the more common age that they went for. He had photographs of some 15 or 16-year-old girl all over his little fucking apartment there where he lived on that island in various stages of undress out at the pool and shit. She was some kind of like Latvian or Ukrainian girl that he bought. That's the wild shit too. Because it was a war-torn country, and you could just buy a child, you could buy a girl from her parents. I guess we'll take care of her, that type of deal. Here's a couple grand, and you just take the girl. They had her up there on that island. She lived on it. They know where she is, Svetlana or whatever her name was, and she just looked like a little model. Lived on that island, little blonde.
CB said, it's shocking how normal perverts look, and you think the kinky fucker would be the pervert, but they aren't. Well, see, and we've talked about this a lot of ways, too, because I think a lot of people, not so much nowadays, but, like, back in the day, like, if you looked like, you know, goth or, like, a punk or, like, at fetish parties or something like that, people would think, oh, man, they must be real freaks, and they're, like, into this and that and the other thing. And normally, those are, like, the nicest people ever. You know what I mean? Like, people that are into goth and horror and black metal and shit like that are 99% of the time like the nicest people you ever want to meet. It's like it's the fucking normal ones you got to watch because they're the ones that are trying to blend in.
Yeah. Another thing about fucking subculture people, especially like the goth scene and stuff. I don't think civilians don't realize how popular those kids are. They got friends. They're socially hooked up in their scene. They're not doing things like, you're not being pedos and speedos and shit like that, really. The only thing I fucking ever heard of anything like that, in New Orleans, there was a guy there. See, I gotta stay away from names, okay? There was a guy there that I knew. He was a little bit older than me at that time. Would have made him. He was probably about 26, 27 at the time. He met a girl, a goth girl that I know. Still know her to this day. I'm going to say her name. Who was homeless. She was a runaway. And underage. Working in a strip club. Sucking dick. That's how she made a living. And he got her out of that and took her home with him. She was only about 16, 17. And he was 20. They lived together for a long time. That was his girlfriend. Technically, that's very illegal. But he didn't want to send her to... She was a goth. And she seemed adult. You know, that's what she was doing for a living. So he was saving her from a life of prostitution, really. You know? And he didn't want to send her to Child Protective Services. That's like sending somebody to prison, you know. And she was a fairly functional person, even though she wasn't an adult. She could pay rent and fucking did her laundry and took care of shit. She lived as an adult, even though she was strip club and shit and giving head, you know. But he met her at the club. Nobody ever carded her. If you looked at her, you'd never know. I didn't know her back when she was underage. I knew her after. She was probably about 19 when I met her. So some of the areas are gray. He didn't go after her for her age.
Well, see, and that's kind of a different situation because he's just like 17 and he's just like in his 20s.
Yeah.
That's like not as gross or weird.
Yeah.
It's still a little bit gross and weird,
he
but...
could have got locked up for that.
Yeah, technically you could. Yeah. But like I said, for that kind of situation, it's not really as...
Age of consent was probably 16.
It might have been,
in Louisiana. So it probably wasn't a problem, but people look sideways at it.
Yeah, which I can see that. But like I said, it's not a huge gap.
Right.
And
he's getting her out of a bad situation.
That's what I mean.
And she chose him, and they were
kind of the situation of it is not as...
And it wasn't really... There wasn't a difference in the power dynamic normally. You know, it's not like she's some high school chick, you know, or a middle school chick or anything. You know, it's not like that.
Yeah, that doesn't have any of her own money. Right. Or like she's under his thumb or anything like that.
It wasn't anything like that.
Ben gave us a super chat. Thank you very much. Tackling the important stuff on Christmas Day. Yeah. You know.
Yeah.
Trying to keep it fun. But yeah, but I've always thought that, and I mean most normal people are fine too, but people used to have a misconception that if you looked super freaky, then you were super freaky or you were mean or that you were fucked up or something like that. But in my experience, 99% of people that look super freaky are like the nicest people that you would ever meet. But nice people, you don't know. They're like Schrodinger's asshole, you know what I mean? Yeah. It's just kind of like they might be nice, they might be dicks. You don't know. CB said comparing a chipmunk to a pedo's dick, chipmunk is way bigger than a pedo's dick. Yeah, it probably is.
A hamster tail.
Don't insult the hamsters now.
Yeah.
American Military says, question, do you think there will ever be another horror film with the cultural impact of The Exorcist or Night of the Living Dead. I would like to think so, but realistically, I doubt it. And I think that that's only because things are so much more scattered nowadays. I kind of feel like when The Exorcist came out, when Night of the Living Dead came out, it was the late 60s, it was early 70s, everybody was talking about the same thing. Like, you had a mainstream media, you had like all this, a big movie would come out, everybody would be talking about it. But now it's just kind of like everything, so much media comes out and everyone is in their own little interest bubbles, that something that's huge in one subgenre or subcategory, over here in this subcategory, they never even heard of that. You know what I mean? So it's crazy to think that, there's channels on fucking YouTube, or there's, people on TikTok or something like that have millions of followers that the vast majority of Americans have never heard of and know nothing about. But that's just kind of the nature of how shit is nowadays. So I think for that reason, just because everything is so fractured, I don't think that you will see something that impactful, I mean, it's hard for me to say because I mostly follow like a lot of horror stuff, so if something's big in the horror community, then to me it seems like a big deal because everybody is talking about it. But not everybody is talking about it. Like, everybody in the horror community is talking about it, which is relatively small, I guess, in the grand scheme of things. But like, it seems like a big deal to me because that's kind of what I'm hearing about. But, I'm sure Tom probably agrees.
What's that?
If you think that there will ever be a horror movie with the same impact as Night of the Living Dead or The Exorcist, the same cultural impact. That's what I said.
No, because that happened in a time when there was much less media.
Yeah, that's what I was saying.
Yeah. Everything's spread out now.
Yeah. Won't be... Like I said, there could be whole... Because I was saying there's YouTube channels with millions of followers, and that's like a whole subculture, and like other people and don't even know who the fuck that is or know anything about it. This was all
predicted by David Bowie. He said the internet would change everything. There'd be no mainstream. Everybody would be doing their own thing. You might not even know what they were doing. Because, we're so used to having everything channeled through television channels and radio stations. None of that exists anymore, really. Television won't survive much longer. But it doesn't survive now. A lot of that shit's going out of business.
Yeah. Ben says Texas Chainsaw Massacre and Hellraiser were both influential. Yeah, but I mean, Texas Chainsaw Massacre came out in 1974, and Hellraiser came out in 1987.
Yeah, anything after the internet era and streaming era.
I kind of feel like after the mid-90s, it was just kind of like, maybe the early 2000s. But, I don't know, I can't even really think of I guess like
after
the last...
2010, I don't think...
I guess like the last big like cultural impact movie was probably... Maybe Scream? That was 96.
You're only going to have that kind of cultural impact in the future in video games. Video games will be better than movies. They'll have huge followings. They kind of have that now, some of them. Some of those video games they make more money than movies. And are around longer and have more fandom than movies have. So I would look more at movies. Movies are going to end up being basically kind of like epic poetry. Who reads poetry? But they used to do that shit fucking centuries ago. Bards and stuff, you know what I mean? They read some poems and shit. Because that was the only media they had. And movies will eventually be kind of like that. It'll be like classic literature. It'll be around still, though.
Yeah, because I mean, still read...
It'll still be around.
I still read ghost stories and shit from like the fucking 19th century. And I'm not the only person.
It just won't dominate.
I know I'm a nerd and everything.
It's just not going to be. It's not going to be able to dominate things like it did. Like it won't be able to dominate cultures.
Well, I mean, nothing will.
Yeah.
Like I said, even there's just so much media. Like I said, there's fucking TV shows. There's people over here talking about this TV show that has like millions of views and all these people talking about it, and I've never even heard of it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Or I've never seen
there
it.
There are TV shows on right now with fucking all kinds of people working on them. I've never heard of any of them or the people or anything.
Yeah, which is...
They probably don't have that many views.
Which, But like I said, there's a lot of TV shows that are like hugely popular that I've never seen.
Yeah.
just because I don't have time and it's probably not my thing.
There was that one series about those people running that ranch out in the mountains. I think it was in the modern era too.
Running a ranch out in the mountains.
Yeah.
I don't know what you're talking about.
It was a huge fucking series. It was supposed to be really good. A bunch of cattle ranchers, I think.
Cattle ranchers?
I think so. People in the audience might know who it is. Some people at the fucking biker bar were telling me about it.
It's not ringing a bell.
It's kind of like a modern Western. I think it was in the modern era, not the old era. They were kind of like gangsters.
Yellowstone? Did somebody say? Oh, yeah. Okay, I've heard of that.
Yeah.
But like I said, I'm not super into Western, so I probably would. I've heard it's good, but I
think Yellowstone's happening in the modern era, though, I think. I don't think it's Old West.
I don't really know.
Yeah, if I'm wrong, you can let me know.
Okay, American Military points out, yeah, you're right. The Blair Witch Project may have been the last horror flick that was impactful. Yeah, that was 1999. Yeah. So yeah, I think you're right about that. And that was just because that also utilized the internet. And was the first. It wasn't the first found footage movie, but it was the first found footage movie to make a huge impact like that. Yeah. So yeah, you're right.
Melissa and her little goth, the two little goth chicks that were friends with my first wife. Melissa came and says, "Have you ever heard of the Blair Witch Project?" And I was like, "No." It's on the internet. It's some kind of movie coming. And he goes, "I don't know if it's based in something real. I think it might be based on a real paranormal case." And we went online and looked. It took a long time for shit to load. It was old internet, 90s internet. And it did have like a fucking really compelling, spooky fucking online presence, for that movie. And that was why everybody went to go see it. When we went there, it was all people of our generation, or a little bit younger, and they were all fucking there because of the internet.
Yeah.
Fucking presence that it had, because it had an eerie, spooky kind of thing. I didn't like the movie though. When I saw the movie, I didn't like the movie.
I liked it better when I saw it in the theater.
Yeah.
I think it's a better experience if you see it in a theater with other people. If you watch it at home, it's not quite the same. Yeah, Case and Lee said, "I thought The Exorcist would be a crazy, mind-blowing, eerie flick, but when I finally watched it, I was kind of disappointed."
Because you're spoiled, man. Fucking those scenes with the exorcism and everything were real cutting edge at the time, and real subversive. The shit the fucking kids saying and everything.
I mean, I kind of feel like
that was enough right there to shock a lot of people.
I kind of even feel like nowadays it would still be a little bit. I mean, they would probably still do it now, but in 1973, like having a little girl sticking a crucifix in her vag and then sticking her mom's face in there.
Yeah.
That was a little much.
They don't quite show it, but they let you know that that's what happened.
But they're pretty clear that that's what happened.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Ben says, The Exorcist is a beautiful movie and every scene is perfectly shot with loads of hidden symbols. Yeah, I mean, it's kind of one of those movies that, much like The Shining, like every time you watch it, you see something new in it.
It was a good movie, but I gotta admit, I like The Omen better. I like the Omen, the first Omen. I thought that bitch was creepy too, and it was packed with more creepy shit.
Yeah. You should watch the movie I watched today, the first Omen. You might like it.
Yeah, I probably
like I said, it's about Damian's mom. Yeah. Like how the conspiracy engineered.
So he wasn't born of a jackal.
Well,
they put a jackal in the coffin.
Yeah, but that's not exactly what happens. Okay. They kind of explain like what happened.
Okay.
But it's a kind of it's not convoluted. It's pretty clearly explained. But
that Omen trilogy is a tight trilogy. It's good.
I actually like all the Omen movies. Although, didn't they make that one? No, that was the other Exorcist one that I was thinking of. They only made those 3, right?
Yeah, as far as I know.
And then then this year they made the prequel, which is called The First Omen. Which, like I said, I watched that today and I quite enjoyed it. Oh, and then yesterday, on Shudder, they had this French movie called Mads, and it was pretty good too. It's essentially like an infection style zombie movie. It's kind of like a 28 Days Later type of situation, but I think a lot of people were really into it because it was shot in one long take, and it's like 82 minutes long, and it goes like all over like the city and everything like that. So it's like technically it's really, really good, but it's not technically a zombie movie, I guess, but it's like an infection style movie.
Case is saying that based on my recommendation to him, he played a game, Prey. He played it for 2 months. He loved it. I don't really remember that game. I don't remember a game called Prey.
Yeah, I don't remember you talking about that.
No.
What was that video?
Might be confused with somebody else.
What was that video game that you used to have that was like a kawaii Jesus and John the Baptist?
Oh, I forgot.
And Jesus would like hit people with fish.
Yeah, he did all kinds of stuff. Hit people with crosses.
Yeah,
fish.
But the hitting him with fish was the funniest.
He had a bunch of superpowers.
Let's be honest.
It was Jesus versus zombies, right?
Yeah, was it zombies?
Jesus versus zombies, and you could. It was a 2-player game, and player 2 could play as John the Baptist.
Yeah,
and each one had different moves. It was just kind of a funny game.
It was like, it just used to crack me up every time like Jesus would break out the fish and go pap. It's just like I would just laugh my ass off. I don't know why that's so funny to me.
He could do things like, I think John the Baptist could make the stars fall from the sky.
Yeah,
and it killed everybody. Yeah.
But it was like a little Japanese, like they were super cute, like they had like big eyes and little
smiles on
little cute, like Jesus and little cute John the Baptist. It was like fucking hilarious. Or were there little sheepies in there too, like little sheeps?
Yeah,
or something.
Yeah, you say no. Prey is a great game. I've never played the game. I didn't.
Or you don't remember.
Yeah, what game is it? You have to describe it to me because I don't remember a game called Prey.
Yeah.
He's saying I recommended it to him.
Okay.
But I don't remember that. According to what he wrote.
Okay. Let me see. Oh, somebody said Phantom said.
There was a game called Stray.
Oh, maybe
about
that's
a cat.
Oh yeah.
Maybe that's what he's talking about.
Maybe that one. Let's see. Where did I just saw it? I think Phantom just said that he never seen Young Frankenstein.
Oh man.
You gotta see Young Frankenstein.
Yeah,
That's one of the funniest movies ever, I think. Stevie said the new Dexter prequel looks good. I just saw the preview for that today, like the ad for that today, and that does look good. Man, the actor they got to play young Dexter looks exactly like spookily like him. But then they have the actual actor, what's his name, Michael C. Hall, doing like the voiceover, like the voice in his head. So he's like involved in it. But they're kind of showing like with him and his dad and how his dad like set up how to manage his serial killing so that he only killed other serial killers. Yeah. So they're doing like a prequel series.
Yeah, Case, and I didn't recommend that game to you. I've never played it. He says it's a sci-fi space game called Prey. It's not a game, man. I recommended a movie called Hunter Prey. It was a movie. Hunter Prey.
Oh, no, okay, there was that.
Maybe that's what he's talking. I don't know. Maybe that's what he's talking about.
Yeah, I remember that movie. Now, Case and Lee said Blair Witch is better than The Exorcist, in my opinion. Nah. Like I said, I liked the Blair Witch at the time, Blair Witch Project, the first one. I liked it better when I saw it in the theater. Like, when I saw it again afterward, I still like it, but it's not as good as the first time I saw it. But The Exorcist I could watch once a week and never get sick of it.
I can.
You know?
The only one I could watch quite a bit and not get sick of it was fucking The Shining, and we grew up watching that over and over again.
Yeah, for some reason it's just kind of The Shining, man.
I think it has to do with the way it sounds too.
I'll just watch it just randomly. Hey, let's watch The Shining again, even though I've probably seen it like 400 times. I must have seen it 400 times at this point. That and what's another one that I watch all the time, or that I never get sick of? A Clockwork Orange.
Yeah.
Like that one's another
Pretty
one,
good.
and that's also Stanley Kubrick. There's something about his movies that really lend themselves to repeat watches. At least those two do, in my opinion. But The Shining, again, like every time I watch it, like I see something different. You know, you see some new angle, or because I watch a lot of the videos too about like weird Shining theories, because there's a million of them out there. And so sometimes I'll have seen a video randomly where they talk about some crazy new theory, and I'm just like, now I want to watch The Shining again to see what they're talking about. You know what I mean? So I'll watch it again. Yeah, where did I see? Yeah, what are they talking about, Young Frankenstein? Yeah, Zach says the thing with The Exorcist that no one talks about is how gorgeous looking the cinematography is. Yeah. It really does look... And honestly, the creepiest stuff to me in The Exorcist is not even necessarily the possession shit. The creepiest shit to me was the stuff with Father Karras's mom.
Yeah.
Like when he has those dreams about her, and like when he walks in the room and she's like sitting on the bed staring at him. Ooh, that freaks me out. Or when she's like walking up and down like the subway stairs, and I don't know why that freaks me out so much. That's really unsettling.
Kaysen says that he doesn't want to watch The Exorcist. It doesn't want to watch The Shining because he wants to read the book first. I would say no, don't do that. See the movie first. If they're different stories, kind of. It's better to fucking see the movie first. You'll like the movie fucking a lot better not knowing anything.
Yeah, in some ways, I know this is maybe a controversial thing to say, but because the movie, I mean, the book is great, but the movie, I think, is a lot scarier than the book because it doesn't explain anything. You see all this stuff, but you don't have any context. If you read the book, you'll have context for everything that's in there. Everything will be explained. Yeah. So you'll be like, oh, this is that thing, and oh, this is that thing. And it's just that just kind of ruins it.
Yeah, what's better is to watch the movie first, and then fucking the movie will trip you out. It's a good movie. Then read the book, and then it'll give you the backstory. And more stories. And some things are a little bit different, a little bit. What happens to Halloran? There's no maze. They had hedge animals instead. But in general, reading the book will explain the movie to you, and you'll go, oh, okay, that's what they were talking about.
Yeah, and Burley said just don't watch the 90s miniseries of The Shining.
Yeah, don't do that until that'd be the last one to watch. I liked it.
Tom liked it. I didn't like it.
I liked it just because
it's very similar to the book.
Very similar to the book, but it doesn't make a good movie.
That's why I didn't like it.
It didn't really make a very good. The problem with the series was that the special effects and the makeup on the ghosts wasn't that good. It was just, you could tell it was made for TV.
They show too much. It was over-explained.
Yeah.
And that was, I mean, Mick Garris directed it, but Stephen King was involved. He's like, this is what he wanted to make, like an adaptation of his novel, which, fair enough. Yeah. But the thing about it, like I said, and I've talked about this, like, I love Stephen King. He's a great writer. I've read most of his stuff. But a lot of his stuff doesn't translate well to the screen just because a lot of his books are so internal.
And detailed, too.
And a lot of that doesn't come out well. So a lot of times you have to change it. So I kind of feel like the best Stephen King movies, based on his books, are changed the most from his books. And that's not a ding on his writing. It's just two different mediums, and it doesn't work as good. Like, his good books are good, like, from a book point of view. But in a movie, you have to kind of change it.
What works in a book doesn't work in a movie.
Right. And I kind of feel like that's what happened with The Shining, the 1997 Mick Garris miniseries, was that he's like, well, I want to make it just like the book. And I'm like, that's why it's not good.
Yeah.
Because the book is awesome, but when you put it all up on the screen, it doesn't really translate. It's not scary. It just seems kind of silly.
Yeah.
I think that all the changes that Kubrick made it way, way scarier. Because like you said, you don't have any context. There's no explanation. Who are these ghosts? And like, they don't show as much.
Yeah, now I own Dr. Sleep on Blu-ray. The director's cut of Dr. Sleep is super good. It's a lot better than the theatrical cut. It's probably about 20 minutes longer, too. And it's about Danny, from The Shining. What he does when he grows up. And what was cool about that movie is that at the end of that movie, he ends up back at the Overlook. And shit happens at the Overlook.
Yeah.
And Lloyd shows up, but Lloyd is now his dad. And the dude fucking playing it, you're not going to be able to get Jack Nicholson. He's too old. He's like a young version of Jack Nicholson. He does a great job of fucking playing fucking Mr. Jack Torrance.
That is the same actor that played young Norman Bates in Psycho 4.
Okay. All right.
And he's been in a bunch of Mike Flanagan stuff too. Right. He was in, which that was Mike Flanagan too, but he was in like Haunting of Hill House and all that other kind of stuff. So he works with him a lot. But yeah, so that's where I knew you'd recognize him from. He was real young then.
But it's a good movie. I haven't read the book. The book probably some people have said the book isn't that good.
I have the book.
Yeah.
I hardly ever say this. I liked the movie better than the book.
I've heard that. Yeah.
Now, the book is slightly different because obviously the book is going off the Shining book, and at the end of the Shining book, the Overlook was destroyed. Yeah. Like, it blew up. So, obviously, the ending
You're right, yeah.
of the movie had to be different because in the movie, Mike Flanagan was trying to incorporate both the novel and Kubrick's movie into one whole.
It works.
Which he really did a good job, I thought, like kind of putting those two things together. Good. Yeah, because some things like, for example, maybe this is a spoiler for people who haven't seen it, but in the book, The Shining, Halloran
lives.
Doesn't die.
Yeah, he lives.
But he dies in the movie.
Yeah, because somebody had to die.
Yeah, because like
nobody would have died in that movie. What kind of horror movie is that?
Other than like all the ghosts are already dead before the fucking shit. But yeah, I don't know, man. I just kind of feel like all of the good Stephen King, and a lot of the good Stephen King movies too are like more psychological horror too, or just like character based, like Dolores Claiborne or Shawshank Redemption, which isn't even a horror story, or Misery. You know what I mean? So it's not like supernatural, or what was the one with the Gerald's Game with the woman chained to the bed?
Yeah.
So I think they work better like that, because supernatural stuff is kind of harder sell anyway, and a lot of the stuff that's in Stephen King's books sounds rad on the page, but in a movie it looks kind of goofy.
Yeah.
You know, and I kind of feel like that's what happened with the miniseries, the Shining miniseries. The part with the
it's too literal.
Yeah, the part where Danny is like in the hall and the hose comes off and the hose has teeth on it.
Yeah.
Now in the book that was super scary. In the miniseries, not so much.
Yeah.
Not so much. It looks kind of stupid.
Yeah.
It looks kind of stupid. Like it's just this hose with like CGI teeth, and I'm just like, oh no, oh my gosh, terrifying. So, and the moving hedge animals looked really bad too.
What I did like about it though, is that in the TV series, you actually see Tony.
Yeah.
The little boy that lives in my mouth. You actually see him.
See, I don't like that.
And he's a character in it. Because in the book, he's a character.
Yeah.
He's Danny, just older, really.
Yeah, it's like older Danny, like talking to his past self, like.
Yeah, it's his super ego.
But see, to me, the Kubrick version, I like that they didn't show him. I like that because then it left some ambiguity over his like, is this kid just insane, or does he really like he just does this with his finger, and it's like that to me that's way creepier, than seeing like a floating kid.
Yeah. Yeah, and in the book and in the television series, Tony was somebody that Danny would see floating in midair.
Yeah.
And trying to tell him something and pointing at things like a big clock with the time, but he couldn't read the clock. You know what I mean? Just weird shit like that, because Danny was too young. And I think he got to where he could communicate more clearly with him over time, I think, if I remember correctly. Because I think when he first started seeing Tony, I don't think Tony talked. I think he showed him things. And then he ends up being able to talk.
Right.
That was like something that took time for it to get rolling.
Erica Lynn said, Stephen King is hit or miss for me, talking about the books. I either love or hate his books. I loved Shawshank, The Green Mile, Billy Summers, Cujo, but hated Carrie and can't get into The Stand. I mean, The Stand is probably his best regarded book. It's not my favorite of his, though.
Yeah, Kaysen, don't worry about Dark Tower, man. Don't even watch that movie. That movie fucking
sucks. The movie's not worth it. No. It's the movie itself. If it was just a standalone movie, it probably would have been okay.
Yeah, all right, if it wasn't the Dark Tower, but that's not the movie. That's not the book.
Yeah, it's like they tried to cram. How many fucking books are there in the Dark Tower series? A lot. And they tried to cram like pretty much all of it into one movie.
And when you do that, you end up leaving out all of it, pretty much.
Yeah, so it just seemed like there was not much substance to it. And that's such a complicated lore. I don't really know. I mean, that needs to be a series.
Yeah, and Roland is fucking described as Clint Eastwood. He's Clint Eastwood, basically. In another dimension, if I remember correctly. Isn't that right?
Something like that.
I think he is. He's basically.
I don't think I've read any of the Dark Tower books. I'm not real into Stephen King's more fantasy type stuff.
Yeah, and they had Idris Elba, isn't it? Elba playing him.
Idris Elba.
Elba playing him, which he was great in it, but that's not.
He's great. He's great in everything.
Yeah, but that's not true to the character. The character out of the book, it was basically Clint Eastwood. That's who the gunslinger was.
Yeah, Camp Guy said his children's book, The Eyes of the Dragon, is a great read. Yeah, I like that one. But like I said, I have that somewhere. But I generally am not as into his fantasy stuff as his just straight horror stuff. I like his straight horror stuff, and I even kind of like his drama kind of stuff. I don't know if I had to pick a favorite book, I don't know what it would be, though. It would probably be Pet Sematary.
Yeah.
Just because of how fucking mean-spirited it is, like, and how it goes through the throat, and I just really kind of like that. But one of his newer ones, and I think I've mentioned this before because I reviewed it, well, it's not newer, it came out in 2014, I think, but was Revival.
Yeah.
I just found it randomly, like, in a used bookstore, like a hardback, and holy shit, that was, like, excellent. It was kind of like a drama at first, but then it kind of went in a Ray Bradbury-ish Frankenstein kind of direction, and I was into it. Like, it really surprised me, like, how good it was.
Yeah, Case and, like I said, Dark Tower was a bad movie if you're expecting the story of the Dark Tower.
Right, yeah. Like I said, if it was just like a standalone,
if it was just a movie
fine.
And it had a different name on it,
then it would have been fine.
It'd been all right. Yeah, it was okay. It's just that is not the Dark Tower, and that's not the Gunslinger. That's like saying you got something that looks like Darth Vader, and you got something that looks like Princess Leia, and you can say that's Star Wars, but it ain't Star Wars. It'd be like the same shit. The story was gone. There's so much. There's no way you could do the Dark Tower, the Gunslinger series. There's just no way.
Like I said, you'd have to do a fucking a long, complicated series.
That would be a long Netflix series.
Yeah, big time.
That would
like
be
several seasons.
Yeah, 8, 9, 10 seasons.
I'm surprised nobody's done it yet. I'm thinking they'll get around to it eventually, I guess.
Because there's no other way to do that story justice.
Yeah. Let me see. I just saw something that I wanted to fucking. Riley said underrated Stephen King movie is Night Flyer. Yeah, we actually reviewed that one not too long ago, and that was actually much better than I remembered.
I forgot which one that was.
That was the vampire one with the guy with flying on the plane. Remember that?
Oh yeah.
That was like pretty decent.
Yeah.
Phantom said, will Tom and Jenny watch the latest Pet Sematary film that came out? Well, they did a Pet Sematary, another adaptation of it in, when did that come out? 2019, right? I don't know. Are they making another one already? Because they made one in 2019. And we reviewed it. It was all right. I don't love it. I didn't really like, I wasn't sure I was into the fact that they changed which kid died. I thought that was a little weird. I guess they were just trying to be like, hey, we're not going to do it the same, so it's going to be a surprise, but I don't know. It seemed like a little stunting.
Listen to what Perez says.
Where?
Down there.
Well, down there, that's not helping me. Hold on. Phantom David Duchovny. Please, more haunting reviews. Yeah. I discovered you guys yesterday morning at the gym, and I am addicted.
Okay.
Such great chemistry, and I love the commentary on a haunting. We probably should get back to doing those. I think we covered most of the good old ones, because some of them are just kind of, samey. But
I have the 2 pilot episodes. I don't know if we ever did.
Yeah, we did.
We did those on this.
Now, didn't we buy? Because we're nerds. Didn't we buy season 8?
Yeah, like an online season, I think, right?
Or something. Because Amazon Prime, actually, you can buy some of the seasons, but a couple of them are missing for whatever reason. I guess because of various
legal problems or something.
But yeah, so we should probably get back into doing
those.
Yeah,
the haunting property, I think, has changed hands several times, and the quality of the cases kind of suffered. As it went on.
Well, they were just scraping the bottom of the barrel at that point. Because they're like, look, we did all the good scary ghost stories, and now it's like, is anybody turning into werewolves? Do we have, witchcraft, anything?
Or Apep, the fucking Egyptian god Apep.
Oh, shit, man. Okay. Please tell me we reviewed that one, because that one... Yeah. Even the actors in that were not taking it serious.
No, that motherfucker was smirking.
Like, the whole time he's like, yeah, I'm being... I went to a museum... And now I'm being attacked by a crocodile head monster. You buy that? He's like, I don't even buy it. And I'm in this thing. But yeah, I don't even remember what the name of that one was. But I think that was like a later season. What season was that? And it might have been the first or second one of the season too. I'm like, God damn it. I think they were better to me when they were just like creepy ghost stories. I didn't really like the ones that had oh no, we found, a fucking pentagram under a carpet somewhere, because that happened several times. Or there was a couple that were werewolves or something. I'm just like, come on now, let's not be silly. Like, I just like the ones that were ghosts or poltergeist activity. You try to get too much, you're straining my credulity too much. You know what I mean? Yeah, the first 4 seasons were easily the best ones. Like, they really started kind of going downhill after that. Those are the ones we rewatch. Honestly, like, sometimes, because we have, a long time ago, I bought him the first 6 or 7 seasons, I think, on DVD, because I think the first 4 seasons came in, like, a box set, and then after that, you subsequently had to buy, like, each one individually. So I think we have the first 7 seasons on DVD. And sometimes, if we're just, like, bored and we can't think of anything to do and we're just going to, like, take a nap or something, we'll just, like, put one of them on and let all of them play. Just because that guy's voice is, like, so soothing. That voiceover act, I know what his name is, and I can't think of it right now.
Yeah. But
he just took over, because I was watching off and on, because I love true crime shit, too. I've been watching this true crime series called, what is it called? Murder Comes to Town. And it's basically every single one is like some small town where everybody knows everybody and nobody locks their doors and blah, blah, blah. And then somebody gets horribly murdered and the town loses their innocence, blah, blah, blah. So they do one of those every time. And they had this really distinctive voiceover guy who did the first season or season and a half. But then he died. And then they got the dude from A Haunting. Because when after they said, oh, R.I.P., like at the end of one episode, and then the next episode came on and I was like, hey, it's the Haunting guy. I'm like, that bitch is everywhere.
Yeah.
He must make so much fucking money. Anthony Call, that's his name. Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Zach. Speaking of A Haunting, I found a documentary about Man Said I Could story.
Okay.
And they interviewed the guy who was the kid from that story. Yeah. Really? Not the actor, I hope, but like, right. Was the kid? Oh my God.
Well, tell us more about.
Yeah, I really.
It was the actual kid from the case, or the kid who played him, the actor.
Why do you want to hurt the kitty?
Yeah.
The kid's peeing in the closet and all this other kind of stuff. Man said it was okay.
Yeah.
I love that kid. What a good actor that kid was, because he just made me want to punch him across the room.
Yeah.
So, I was like,
I think he's talking about...
Good job, kid.
They interviewed the actual guy that was supposed to be the actual guy from Man Said I Could. He's grown up
okay.
now.
Well, yeah, obviously.
Yeah.
Because that's an old-ass show.
Yeah.
Yeah, Jay Perez says, wait, the guy from A Haunting does the narration for Murder Comes to Town. Yeah, well, he didn't at first... But like I said, because I started watching it, I think I started watching the beginning, because I just watch them on, I think they're on HBO Max, I want to say. So I started watching them on there, and the original guy died, and then the next one came on, and then the Haunting guy was doing the...
He said it was the actual guy.
Oh, the actual...
Yeah,
okay.
Yeah.
So he's credible? Like 30-something, and he has a beard and a bunch of tats.
Yeah, was he credible, though?
And did he
see the demon? Did he have more detail?
Did he clarify that he said to his parents that Man said he could?
And did he ever explain why he was peeing in the closet?
I mean, why not?
Because Man said he could.
Man said he could.
Yeah, yeah.
So,
yeah.
Man
said I don't have to listen to you.
We still say that to each other every now. Man said I don't have to listen to you.
Yeah. And
it really upset me though when he put the cat underneath the couch cushion and tried to sit on the cat.
Yeah.
The dad saved the cat though. He said, yeah, I need to catch up on Murder Comes to Town. Yeah, I don't watch them I watch 2 or 3 of them a night sometimes. But I love true crime and I can watch it just for hours and hours. But I can't watch it too much in the room with Tom because he'll be like, man, this is depressing. Let's watch something else. So it's
Zach answered.
Says apparently his mom wrote a blog about The Haunting back in the 2000s, and that's how the show's producers found their story originally. Oh, okay. CB said, Jenny, I think you would like Project Fear. The show is on YouTube every Friday. I don't think I've ever heard of that, actually. Let me write that down.
Zach, where can we see that documentary? What's the name of it? I wouldn't mind watching that.
Fear. Yeah, I mean, that might be really interesting.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, Tom probably has a lot to say about this. Said, I did want to ask, did you guys think the Enfield poltergeist was legit or a hoax?
No,
Which cases did you guys think were hoaxes? I think everything the Warrens were involved in directly was
much
kind
of a hoax. Yeah,
mostly, yeah.
But they were kind of involved in the Enfield case, but they got kicked off of it.
Yeah, as far as I know, they just showed up uninvited.
Right, they flew all the way
and we're
down
like,
there.
"Hey, we're gonna do," and they're just like, "Who the fuck are you?
Yeah.
Go away."
And they kind of kicked them out, and then the Warrens at first said that, "Oh, that was a hoax," but then later on they're like, "Oh no, we saw it."
They got butthurt because they got kicked out.
Yeah,
I guess.
I have the original "This House is Haunted" in a hardback book here.
Yeah, I bought that for you a long time. It's out of print.
Out of print.
I think it might be back in print now. But at the time that I bought it, so I bought you like an old used library book. I gotta pee.
All right, but out of all the poltergeist cases, some of the little ones that Jen found sounded very legit. It's kind of like something that I saw. But as far as the big ones, Enfield was a real thing. Even though not every report given on it, like not all the witnesses, I don't think accurately described what they saw. Like there was, I think, a woman working as a crossing guard on a crosswalk down the street, and she said she saw Janet hovering up near the window and going towards the ceiling and then coming back down like she was floating. I find that unlikely. There was some other things about the case that are like, okay, the voices that she was making? It wasn't a ghost. What she's doing is part of her subconscious mind is kind of using what you would call psychic abilities to read the history of the area that she's living in. She knew that there was an old man down there that went blind and had a stroke, went blind, and died in his sleep. And she kind of brought that person kind of back to life, or mimicked him for a little bit. Now, another possibility is that she had overheard about that and just was... Sometimes when a poltergeist agent is really rolling, man, they'll go into almost like a fugue state where they're so scared that they almost go into a trance. And they'll do weird things, and it's kind of like, it looks a lot like possession. The real case that caused The Exorcist, the movie The Exorcist in the book, that was based on a real case that involved a little boy.
Yeah, Roland Doe.
Yeah, no, that was real.
Or Ronnie Mannheim, I've seen him called. That's not his real name, though.
That was a real case.
From the 40s.
Yeah, that was a real case. And I saw interviews with a guy that was helping the priests. He was like wasn't an altar boy, but he was one of their assistants. And he saw all kinds of phenomenon. And he said, in my heart, I knew it wasn't a ghost, though. He says, I knew it wasn't a demon, though. He says, it was what you would call a poltergeist. And he said, it was coming out of that boy. So some poltergeist agents, kids that are doing this, will exhibit symptoms that look like possession. But it's more like a fugue state, being in a trance, slightly out of body, and objects will be thrown around mysteriously. I don't understand the rules. It only happens every now and then nowadays. I don't think you can be looking at the object when it leaves. You only see it arrive. It's weird.
He's asking you to elaborate a little more on the RSPK thing.
All right.
Because he said, I know you talk a lot about that. I think it's psychic kinetic energy or something. Can you elaborate?
What do they call it? Recurrent spontaneous psychokinesis.
And Zach gave us another super chat. Thank you very much. He's telling us the name of the...
Oh, yeah.
The Thompson Family Haunting.
Thompson Family.
And the Story of Man.
Okay. Where do you find it? What?
It's on a channel called The Ghost Files. I'll find it.
All right. Okay, there's two guys you need to look at that are scientists. One of them is fucking Stuart Hammeroff. You had to look at him. He's an anesthesiologist, and he has this theory called quantum soul theory, where your brain is made up of fucking neurons, and those neurons end up having these little microtubules like that come out of like the ends of them, and those things seem to be superconductive, that they're kind of like a metamaterial. There's photons going down them. Well, all those subatomic particles can be held together in superposition, and there's a really good physicist that backs him up, Sir Roger Penrose. Yeah. And he can explain it too, but they don't really want to talk much about it because people start ridiculing them, but they're two of the best guys on it. He noticed, or Hammeroff noticed, that you could put people under anesthesia, because he was doing that. He was like an anesthesiologist. Put people under anesthesia. When they came back, they could fucking tell you what happened, during this surgery, and that they saw certain things from above, and they couldn't have known anything because there was no brain activity. So he was trying to explain that, and it has to do with the actual structure of the brain. In other words, the thing that you call your sense of being, here in the here and now, is a quantum emergent property of your brain, and animals have it too. It's not something real highly developed. It's not. You don't have to be super, advanced development. You're actually probably easier to do it if you're more animalistic, because I think animals do it kind of naturally. Animals all feel like they're here. Robots don't. AI doesn't. It's not here. You can take anesthesia and give it to a person, and they'll walk and talk, and they won't have a sense of being, because the anesthesia has affected them, and it affects those microtubules. Jen came out of surgery. I talked with her for about a half hour, walked her out to the car and everything, had a whole conversation. She couldn't remember a bit of it, because she was not conscious during that time.
No, I don't remember any of that shit.
She was only partially conscious.
But you said I was talking normal.
Talking normally, but really she wouldn't have passed the test of self-sentience, I guess. She was an android, or she was AI at that time.
How do you feel about that, Tom?
That was cool. Cool. She was AI. Yeah.
I wouldn't know. I wasn't there.
Yeah, you weren't there.
I mean, I was, but I don't remember it.
You weren't there mentally because you didn't have a sense of being.
Like I said, all I remember was waking up in the recliner with a blanket and being like, man, I'm cold. And then the nurse gave me another blanket.
Yeah.
And then I remember you putting me in the passenger seat of the car.
Yeah.
And that's it. Then the next thing I remember is me sitting in bed at home and you give me a sandwich.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's it.
Well, anyway, all these subatomic particles in superposition and linked together, you could die, and that fucking cloud of atomic particles, subatomic particles that are running through your brain could hold together in coherence. So your sense of being could survive death, and which explains. They say that they come out and say this explains a lot of this weird phenomena that you hear. Out of body experiences, near death experiences, fucking psychic phenomenon. Says some of it, but only the good stuff. So a lot of it's fake, A lot of shit, like that fucking psychic trying to say, "Oh, your child's dead." You know what I mean? She's what was her name? She was a hoax.
Fucking Sylvia Brown.
Sylvia Brown. That's not a psychic.
Motherfucking Brown.
Yeah.
We did a whole show about fake psychics.
Yeah.
So we got to shit on all those people.
So. Go look up the quantum soul theory. Stuart Hammeroff. Start with him. He can answer. He knows the more technical shit, and he's developing it. He's developing this theory. Me, I don't care as much. I used to, but it just happens. It's not supernatural. It's some part of the natural world.
It's just you doing it. That's why it doesn't scare me when it happens. It doesn't happen as much anymore. It's happened at this house a couple of times. Usually, you don't necessarily set the smoke alarm off.
Yeah.
But you make the smoke alarm
beep.
The one in the bedroom goes beep beep, and then the one in the hall goes beep beep, and then the one down the hall goes beep beep.
Yeah, and it won't do it again.
And it just does it like once or sometimes twice, and then it doesn't do it anymore.
Yeah. and it's telling me something.
And it's usually well, the first time that happened, it was, you knew, you're like, something's wrong with my dad.
My dad's dying, yeah. So my dad's dying.
And you called your dad, and they're like,
in the hospital.
Yeah, we just took him to the hospital. Yeah. And it was like right before he died.
Yeah.
But, well, at least, I mean...
The other time it happened, I was having a nightmare. I was
in
bed,
well, that's what's funny, because the beeping... Because it's not I mean, obviously when the smoke alarm goes off, it goes beep, beep, and like super loud. It's not like that.
And it's also not the battery dead.
It's not the battery dead beep either. Because that
goes on forever.
Because that's a different...
It's a different noise.
That's like a chirp.
Yeah, like chirp. It wasn't chirp. It's beep, beep.
Yeah, it's like 2 beeps like that.
Yeah.
And then it does it like a couple times, and then it stops.
And it wasn't at full volume. It was like at half volume.
It was now, the other time that happened, it was the middle of the night.
Yeah.
And it woke me up, so it was loud enough to wake me up. But the first thing I thought was, Tom's having a nightmare.
Yeah.
I
woke up.
That was the first thing I thought.
Yeah, and I was having a dream.
Because I was like, there was no other explanation for why that was doing that.
Yeah.
And I think the one in the hall beeped a couple times too.
Yeah.
Because we have one in the bedroom, and then there's one like in the middle of the hall outside.
Yeah.
But we don't have too much of it happen here though.
Yeah.
At the old house, we had some crazy shit happen.
Yeah. All these old stories about witches and possession and fucking, chi and fucking Chinese sword masters and all this shit, like from the Jedi and all that, which that's all based on stuff that, fucking George Lucas and what was this, Joseph Campbell dug up, old legends.
Yeah.
Those old legends are based in real phenomenon. They just didn't really know how to explain them. So they explained them the way you would. Ghosts. Yeah. Demons.
Best explanation we had at the time.
Gods.
Sure.
Fucking sorcerers. Sorcery. Witches. Shit like that. And that's in fucking Star Wars. Fucking... The Jedi would be kind of like warrior monks. Buddhist warrior monks. But they were kind of like the samurai, too. And, they're kind of Buddhist, And then the anti-Buddhists would have been the Sith, which were like, yeah, Buddhism was true, but fuck that. Only the weak would follow that. And it's more about kind of a Nietzschean survival of the fittest, that if you can dominate other people, it's your right. That's the natural order to things. And the natural order is really what they were after. And then they ended up becoming what you'd call like witches or warlocks. But eventually they got so powerful they became, we find out later in the prequels, that they were necromancers is what they were. Keeping people from dying, creating life, bringing things that were dying kind of back from life. You see, a lot of people don't get this because they don't understand the concepts. In Revenge of the Sith, Anakin Skywalker, Darth Vader got his arms and legs cut off, and he was burnt up, and he was dying. Darth Sidious shows up, sees him, goes, good, it's not too late. And then he kneels down, he puts his hand over his face, and it cuts away. It cuts away to fucking Padme, and Padme's giving birth and dying at the same time. The robot said, for reasons we can't explain, she's dying. All right? What fucking Sidious is doing is he's draining her life and using that life force to keep Vader alive. And then they put him in a suit, which helps and make him kind of like bionic. And then later on, when Luke's trying to turn him, he says, you're going to turn on the Emperor. And he goes, you don't understand the power of the dark side. I can't betray my master. Because he'd die if he did that. Because he was keeping him alive with that stolen life force that he got out of Padme. Because you can't get life for free. In most of, even in these stories about witchcraft, you can't get extra life for free. Somebody's got to pay. Isn't that right? You're a master on all those witches. So that's what they're talking about. It's
always some kind of exchange.
There's an exchange, see. And life energy doesn't come from nowhere. So then... They destroy the Emperor, and Luke fucking says, he takes his mask off, and he goes, yeah, but you'll die. And he says, nothing can stop that now. Nothing. And it's because the source of his life is gone.
Yeah.
The Emperor. But a lot of people can't see that because they don't understand the occult. Or or the concepts behind it. Jen probably really good at it because she's read so many stories about witches. And some of this witch shit that she comes up with and she read in a book, man, makes my fucking hair stand up because it makes sense to me. I'm like, yeah, that might work. That might work. If you were in the right mindset, that might work. So
well, I have to be well versed in all that stuff. I write horror stories. So.
See, you can't. And see, the deal with the fucking Jedi and the Sith in those stories. Now, these are fucking stories based on legends, but they're a fictional story. But what the principles they're talking about, the philosophies they're talking about, I believe are true based on what I've seen. The thing that made them so special, those two groups using the Force, is they could do psychic phenomenon at will. And I was never able to really do that. For me, it was always easier if I could blame it on something else. That a ghost did it. That it's easier if you do it. Or that something's watching me and it's doing it. Alright? It's a lot easier. Or if I'm just in a fucking very agitated state, one of the best ones for me would be frustration. Frustration or fear. Which that's all dark side stuff.
Yeah, I mean, whenever we had shit happen at the old house, it was always when you were mad about something, like you were frustrated about something, and you couldn't do anything about it.
Couldn't physically do anything about it.
Or you were just spaced out.
Yeah, another opposite would be calm. Yeah. Ultra calm and not even really zoning out.
Yeah.
You can do
so you weren't really thinking about it.
Yeah, and your conscious mind isn't doing it, your subconscious mind is.
Because it's probably, that's probably why I would never be able to do any of that shit, because I overthink every fucking thing.
Yeah, and I'm scared of my subconscious
much as
mind.
I tried.
I'm
scared of it too.
My subconscious mind curses me a lot. It doesn't like me.
I mean,
so I'm afraid it might try to kill me.
I'm not.
And then the fear of me thinking it might try to kill me, actually, I think fuels it.
Yeah, it probably does. It's like a feedback loop.
Right. Because there's one of the video games called Sith Lords. It had some great dialogue and some really cool philosophy and legends. And there's this one part where you get this dude named Beodor, who's a fucking Iridonian. He's kind of like Darth Maul. He has the little fucking spikes coming out of him and the pattern on his face. He's blue, if I remember correctly. You can turn him into either a Jedi or a Sith, depending on what alignment you're on and what you say to him over time. One time I turned him into a Sith by getting him to hate himself. And that was like because of what he did in the war. He was a war veteran. And he becomes a Sith. And so self-hatred is a fucking
I'm going to say
fuel.
A lot of evil comes from self-hatred. I think that's the root of a lot of it, which maybe a lot of people don't realize.
Right.
I don't think that it's so much a hatred of other people. I think it's a hatred of self.
Well,
and that's projected into hating other people.
That's why Darth Vader fucking, Darth Sidious is fucking, in the final scene, Vader fucking asks where Padme is. I mean, where's Padme? Is she safe? She goes, it seems in your anger you killed her. He blamed her. I mean, he blamed him for it. So then he blamed himself. And then he
did that on purpose.
Yeah, he did it on purpose. He's back there smiling. Gotcha, bitch.
Yeah.
Vader didn't kill her.
Yeah, you did that shit.
Vader didn't kill her. Fucking Palpatine or fucking Sidious killed her.
Yeah.
Just did it with like a drain life.
Yeah, he's just fucking with him. Because like you said, he knew that would make him hate himself.
Make him hate himself, right, yeah.
Which would make him, easier to control and
more powerful.
And more powerful
more
also.
Dangerous, yeah. The more your inner conflict, the more of a source of that dark energy you would need.
Well, see, that's what I said. It's like I always kind of joke with him. I'm not really, but when he was doing the poltergeist shit, I'm just always like, man, I hope you get mad at me one day and like wing a brick at my head or something like that. But it's like I don't think that he would ever do that. I don't think he's ever been mad enough at me to do that.
It's never even really directed anything at me. It's just the fear of it.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, even all the weird shit that was going on, like, back when you were a kid.
Yeah. Now, another
I think it threw a pen at you, but that was about it.
Another case that I'm convinced is real, because there are just so many witnesses in the situation, was fucking the Rain Man. That was Ultra Poltergeist.
Yeah.
what was his name?
Don Decker.
Donnie Decker. He's coming out. I think he's out of prison by now. I wanted to give him on the show.
Unless he's back in again.
Yeah, I wanted to.
He was in for arson before.
He could make it rain in his cell. And he said the water would crawl up the walls. Inmates and other guards were afraid of him. The warden knew all about it. And,
yeah, that was a weird-ass story.
Yeah, he's using his talent to condense water. But they said it wasn't quite water. It was oily. Thicker. Almost sounds kind of like he was making heavy water.
Yeah.
You know, which psychic abilities may not be real precise on what kind of water it is. It might have been fucking heavy water.
Or maybe it was lube.
Something. He running up the fucking walls. But that's another one. Who was the guy that was asking that?
Jay Perez.
Yeah, Perez.
I also wanted to say, like, from a long time ago.
Donnie Decker. Go look up Donnie Decker, the Rain Man.
From a long time ago, he said, I was also stationed in Korea, Tom.
Oh, yeah?
That's why I have mad respect for you.
Oh, okay, thank you.
Camp Red Cloud.
Red Cloud, yeah. I think Red Cloud was artillery, I think.
Yeah, I would
think that was artillery.
You would know.
I think.
Let me see. Yeah, I got like way.
Yeah, I was at Greaves.
Yeah. Let's see.
That was the hardest fucking. That was the hardest duties, Korea. A lot of SF guys will say that's a fucking that place right there, especially if you're up there at fucking Camp Greaves. That's like fucking because so many dudes come out of that unit and ended up being fucking airborne rangers, and we all went to airborne divisions after that. We all went to the 101st, and a lot of guys became rangers. And a few of them, one guy I knew, Special Forces, Boswell, made it through the queue, made it through selection and the queue, became weapons specialist, and then he vanished into the fucking special ops world.
Yeah, Perez is also bringing up that it's like that 15, 16-year-old girl that the Warrens told people was their niece or whatever.
Yeah, that was their sex toy.
I'm kind of pretty sure, yeah.
Yeah.
Now, Phantom said, Supernatural episodes, you can totally see Lorraine is kind of scared of Ed, the way she was acting, kind of. Yeah, I always kind of got the sense that she was afraid she'd say something wrong. Because he always seemed like such an asshole. And, like, he was always just kind of like, you better, like, fucking toe the line. He probably, like, smacked her around, I imagine. Like, behind the scenes. Let's see. Yeah, he knows about that case. He made it rain in the house originally.
Yeah.
Then went to county lockup or something after his dad died.
Yeah, and the cops.
Yeah, they let him out. It was his grandfather that died, right? They let him out on a furlough for the funeral.
Yeah.
And then he went to his, I don't remember if it was aunt and uncle or family friends or something like that. And he was at their house after the funeral, and then he made it rain in their house.
Yeah.
And other shit happened too, like pans moved around and he like levitated or some shit like that.
No, what it did is it picked that force picked him up.
Yeah,
off
that's
the ground
right.
and threw him against the wall. Which, hearing shit like that, I believed it. I think cops saw it. I think the cops that were there, wasn't it cops that were there?
I don't
They came
remember.
to that house and the place, they couldn't understand where this fucking water was. They said it was the weirdest thing.
Yeah.
The cops said some of the fucking rain was going sideways, in slow motion. It was like a drop of it. It wasn't normal. It started in a pizza parlor, remember?
Yeah,
And
well,
they
they
took him
left
out
the
of there.
house, and then they went to the pizza parlor, and
Yeah.
then it started in there,
And
too,
they
and
took
they
him back.
kicked him out.
Yeah, and then they went back to the house.
That's how the story goes, anyway.
Well, there were witnesses.
Yeah.
Fucking the cops were like, yeah, that bitch it was raining. And it wasn't normal rain. And then when he got to prison, there was a lot of witnesses. So.
Yeah, and he asked if it was it in Pennsylvania somewhere. Yeah, was it in Pennsylvania? It was
don't remember.
somewhere like that. I can't remember. I wrote about it in my book, but I can't remember exactly where it took
Yeah,
place.
Donnie Decker's the real thing.
Because that was a while back that I wrote
Yeah,
that.
that's the real thing.
Anything like that where, because we talked about, because I wrote a book with Steve Mara about the Rochdale poltergeist, which was another thing where there was like rain in the house. It's an unusual manifestation, but it does happen sometimes.
He thought it was an old man with a crown that was doing it to him. And like I said before, it's easier if you blame it on an outside force. So you're not taking responsibility for it. As soon as I started to suspect myself, it fucking kind of vanished for a long time. Yeah. Yeah. Because I tried to make it do stuff and it wouldn't do it. Yeah,
Bryce says, I need to find this book, LOL. Well,
Well,
if you're talking about the one that I wrote a bunch. They're all on Amazon.
Yeah. Unseen Hand. You'd like that one.
They're all just under Jenny Ashford.
Yeah, Unseen Hand. That
was like a
paranormal.
paranormal one. I wrote a couple with Steve Mara, the British parapsychologist. We wrote one about Rochdale. We wrote one about the what's his name in Seattle.
Yeah.
The Demon House.
Yeah.
And then I wrote 3 true crime books and a bunch of horror fiction. Speaking of my true crime books, my Faceless Villain trilogy, like all the unsolved murders from the 20th century, I had actually started doing a volume 4, like, for 21st century.
Yeah.
And I was going back through it today. I'd written like 2 or 3 chapters. And I was like, what I should do is I should release each year from 2000 to 2020, like as its own separate book. Like with all the unsolved cases, because I'm looking through there and I'm like, holy crap, like I only have 2 chapters and it was already like half as long as a book would be.
Yeah.
So I'm just like, well, fuck, man, I should probably just do
year by year. Yeah, maybe.
And so I probably will do that, because honestly the 2000 is pretty much done. I just have to format it, and the 2001 is pretty much done. I just have to format it and like make a cover and shit like that. But so maybe I should do that, because I've been thinking about one of the things that I want to get done in the upcoming year is I want to do those true crime books, and I want to finish my fucking novel, because I have like a third of a novel written, and I'd like to get that done at some point too. Because I was reading back through it the other day, and I'm like, man, I really need to finish this. This is good. Yeah. But, you know what I mean? But I don't know. I'll get around to it. I finally did finish the card game that I've been working on for the last fucking 2 years. I finally finished that and got it uploaded. I ordered a copy so I can look at it, because they won't let you sell it unless you order a copy and proof it. So I'm still waiting for that to show up, but I should put that on sale after. It's kind of like it's based on like Victorian spiritualism. It's like a seance, and you like guess things around cards and stuff. But I had fun making that one. It's just like a card game. But yeah. Let's see. Talking about American Military asked, Jen and Tom, what serial killer would frighten you guys the most if you came across them in real life? Ooh.
I'm not scared of any of them motherfuckers, really. The only one that I'd probably worry about was Kuklinski, and he was a mafia hitman.
Which he's more a hitman than... I mean, technically that's still a serial killer, but...
Yeah, and then next to him would be the original Night Stalker, D'Angelo. Because D'Angelo was at least a trained cop. D'Angelo in his prime would have been dangerous. Yeah.
Man, he'd like break into your house and like case it and he'd unload all your guns and make a whole thing of...
Yep. Unload all your guns and put them all
cut
back.
Your phone lines, all that kind of crap. Yeah, like before, and then he'd come back later.
Or he'd wait for you to show up.
Yeah.
He would make your house into a kill zone. He's pre-planning the kill zone. Preparing a kill zone.
Yeah.
Everything's pre-planned. Because he had military and law enforcement training, and that kind of thinking.
I think any of the ones that were like either like that or were just like completely fucking crazy and couldn't be reasoned with, I think would also be kind of scary.
A lot of ones that were totally crazy, couldn't be reasoned with, though, were physically weak. A lot of those guys would just run right through them.
Yeah. Yeah, American Military said original Night Stalker is the one that would scare me the most. Too.
Yeah. D'Angelo.
Yeah, can you imagine waking up and seeing that in your fucking house? Yeah. Which many people did.
Yeah. Well, he was a professional, so he knew what he was doing. He knew how to handle prisoners. He knew how to fucking break into houses. Fucking knew about law enforcement tactics. He was good with guns. He shot somebody during a getaway. Remember that?
Yeah.
And he had a little shootout with somebody.
Yeah. So
he wasn't all just bark. He had a lot of bite.
Yeah.
But a lot of these dudes, really, if you analyze them, they're kind of like Gary Ridgway. And Gary Ridgway was a fucking worm. You know what I mean? Fucking a weak man who was slimy and fucking frail. But it looks like even a frail man could kill a woman, though. Strangle her. He timed it right, I guess. Put something around her neck.
Yeah. Perez said Richard Ramirez was scary too, and Gacy because he seemed normal. Where I saw something else. Oh, and Danny Rolling. Yeah, I forgot. Nobody really brings him up of the Gainesville Ripper. We did a show about him.
Forgot about that guy.
And I fucking remember that because I had a bunch of friends. That happened like right when I was college age, and I had a bunch of friends at University of Florida when that was going on, and all of them came home. A lot of people did. They were just like, "Yeah, fuck that."
You didn't have to worry about Gacy if you weren't a little pretty boy. He liked boys.
Yeah, we did a show about the Gainesville Ripper.
He wouldn't go after an adult. You couldn't handle an adult.
And somebody said BTK, but I mean, maybe, I don't know if you've watched all our shows, but we have kind of a thing where, wait, can you see him back there?
Yeah, I got BTK right here.
There's little Dennis.
Yeah.
Our friend Sophie sent us that.
Yeah.
It's a Dennis Rader bobblehead.
I'm just doing my job, making sure the grass is cut,
Making sure no one's dogs are out.
Yeah.
Yeah, she had sexual problems.
Yeah.
Sexual problems.
I've always kind of had these sexual problems, and I thought maybe you can help me with them. I might have to kill you, though.
Yeah.
Yeah, here's a glass of water. You'll feel better, man.
It'll be. I'm just gonna have to kill you, though. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah, that dude. Holy crap. I have a bobblehead of H.H. Holmes too.
Yeah.
I think that's over there somewhere.
Right there. Okay, good.
Yeah. I have an H.H. Holmes one. But yeah, Sophie didn't send me that one, but yeah, they make apparently serial killer bobbleheads. They have a John Wayne Gacy one. They have in his little clown outfit. They have that, and I can't remember what other ones they have, but I think they might have an Ed Gein one.
Phantom says I should go as Count Dante for Halloween.
Oh,
That'd be a good one, yeah. I get a black gi,
that would be so
black
good.
silk gi, and an afro wig.
Yeah, he had like an afro kind of.
Yeah.
Like a white boy afro.
Yeah. Yeah.
We were just like,
yeah.
What was that Wang video we were watching? That was Kung Fu guy.
Yeah.
That was that dude that he thought he was Cobra Kai in real life, I guess.
I didn't see it.
No, remember that guy who was like a homeless man came into his dojo.
Oh yeah.
And he made that, and he told that other guy to beat him up, and they thought he was dead or something.
Yeah. He just beat
and
up
then
the
he
guy.
just went and bragged about it.
Yeah.
And I'm
beat up the homeless guy. Yeah.
What? Like I said, I think he thought he was Cobra Kai in real life.
Yeah.
It's like
no, hey man, those dudes in that era took that shit seriously.
Which is kind of funny.
Yeah, well, they were in magazines. If you're in a magazine, then you're serious. It's real.
I mean, that's why that show Cobra Kai is so good, because it kind of takes itself seriously, but it's also kind of poking fun at it at the same time. So it strikes like a good balance between that, because it realizes that in the '80s everybody took that shit really seriously.
Yeah. That's where the whole concept of
mall
ninja came from.
It's completely silly though in real life.
Ninjas, remember? You go to a mall to learn ancient Chinese secrets or ancient fucking Japanese secrets or some shit like that.
Because remember the movie that we reviewed the Abel Ferrara movie, Fear City, that we reviewed a couple weeks ago, and that's a great movie, but the serial killer in it is a kung fu guy.
Yeah.
A practicer of Bushido.
Yeah.
And so I was like, I don't know how seriously I could take even if it's gonna stab me. I don't really know how seriously I could take somebody that was going, what?
Yeah, it was douchey as shit. Yeah. You're doing katas
and I'd be
shit.
like, just stop it. Please stop it. What are you doing? If you're going to stab me, just stab me like a fucking man, okay? Don't do that shit. And I was just, I don't know. It was just very funny to me.
If it can't survive in the MMA ring, it's not real. It's bullshido. If it can't hold up to MMA.
Yeah. We did a whole show about bullshido too. Yeah. If you haven't found that one yet. Because we got super fascinated by the whole Count Dante thing, and who's that other dude? Ashita Kim. With his ninja videos that he used to sell back in the 80s and 90s. And it was just, they were so sad.
Yeah. Ashita Kim sold a lot of videotapes to little kids, though, I think.
It must have been little kids.
Yeah.
It's like any adult would be like, "What? Look, I'm floating!" He takes a hula hoop and kind of scoots it under his butt, kind of.
No, somebody rolls it around him.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, they just kind of went
that did not go under his
I'm like,
ass.
that's not how that magic trick works.
It did not go under that ass.
That's not how that magic trick works. And he's just showing people ninja skills. He's like, look, just duck under a window. I'm like, wow,
and they're
brilliant.
Obviously LARPers. Brilliant. You got Ashita Kim, who's a little fucking twiggy. 130 pound, 125 pound.
God, that's so funny.
Little skinny guy with long hair. They had a fat guy, didn't they? And had another dude in a wheelchair. Was he in a wheelchair or was he in a?
I don't remember.
Was he in crutches or something? One of them dudes was handicapped.
And they were fucking high-level ninjas. Ninjas, of all things.
If they're a ninja, I'm a fucking ninja.
Yeah.
Okay?
Ninja.
And I'm not.
Yeah.
So.
And then fucking he was releasing all these videos showing ninja skills. Like when you're walking across the side of a building, duck down underneath the windows so you don't see you.
I never would have thought of that.
Who would have thought of that? Yeah.
He's a fucking genius.
Yeah.
A fucking genius.
Or you can run up behind somebody who has a gun and throw dirt in his face. And then kick it. Yeah, that's not how
And then the guy's like,
That's not
oh.
how the show would work.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It worked like that in shitty movies. Like
Yeah.
like Neil Breen movies or something.
Yeah, Neil Breen.
We should do a show about Neil Breen.
Do a Neil Breen show? Yeah.
I'm gonna write that down.
He'd see that shit probably.
Oh, he probably would.
Yeah.
Shut up, I am God.
Yeah.
We're gonna do a show about Neil. We should do a show about Neil Breen and who's that dude that made Birdemic? James Nguyen?
Yeah, Nguyen. Yeah, him and his fucking
That dude, you know what?
strange understanding. Of
I hate to shit on
white
that dude
people.
because he seems like a nice man.
Yeah.
Like that dude genuinely seems like a nice dude. Neil Breen kind of seems like a douche.
I don't think Neil Breen is self-aware.
That's what I mean. So he seems like a douche.
Yeah.
But James Nguyen he just seems like a nice man that doesn't that is like an alien in a skin suit.
Yeah.
That doesn't know how actually
He's worried
humans
about the environment.
behave or
He's making
interacts with one another.
He's making movies about the environment.
Because he's made more than Birdemic. I mean, Birdemic is his magnum opus.
Solar panels.
I still say it like that.
Solar panels.
Yeah, solar panels.
Yeah.
But Birdemic is his magnum opus. But he has made a couple other ones. He made one called. He made like a romantic comedy. What the fuck was it? It was just two people's names. I don't remember what it is. I think it's on Tubi. And he made one called. I think it was called Replica or something like that. And the whole thing, you guys, the whole thing was shot with the actors clearly in front of a green screen. And then there was like stock backgrounds like that he had bought, obviously, like behind them.
To give them locations.
And it was just, it was so bad.
They're like real nice buildings and office buildings.
It's so bad. I mean, like Rifftrax have done all of them. You have to watch it on Rifftrax. You can't just like watch it dry.
Yeah, I think we
Like
should
I said,
watch those again. Do they have all the Neil Breen stuff? All of his stuff?
I'm not sure. Honestly, you know what? I need to look and see if Rifftrax has done some Neil Breen shit.
Yeah.
Because Neil Breen, I kind of discovered him through Shitcase Cinema.
Yeah.
Like, cause he's done, Johnny Shitcase has done I can't remember what that dude's real name is, but he goes by Johnny Shitcase.
Yeah.
And he's done a bunch of Neil Breen movies, like, on his channel. He doesn't post that much anymore. Like, he's this funny British bald dude. But, he posts, like, once a year now, or something, so it's, like, a big occasion, like, when he posts them. But he used to post all the time. And he does, like, a lot of Steven Seagal movies, too. So, because he's got all the Steven Seagal movies. But, Now I'm kind of hoping that Rifftrax has some Neil Breen stuff. Like Tubi, if you go on Tubi, they have like a fuck ton of Rifftrax. But I don't know if they've ever done any Neil Breen. I mean, they must have done. But it might not be free on Tubi.
Yeah.
You might have to like pay for it.
But I'm starting to get feel the time.
You're starting to feel the time?
I'm starting to feel the time.
Yeah, Replicant or something. Yeah, he knows what I'm talking about.
It's called Replicant.
Yeah.
That's right. I think it was called Replicant.
Yeah, and he said Neil Breen is not self-aware at all. Yeah.
No, I don't think he's self-aware.
I think that in a way that makes it funnier.
Yeah. If a normal dude did that, if a normal dude was doing that, you'd laugh. You'd think he was just taking a piss out of you. That he's just like fucking with you.
You're like,
And he'd be laughing. He's like, yeah.
Oh, you're serious?
This dude's totally serious because he just doesn't understand how other people see him. I think he might be. He's on the spectrum, definitely.
Maybe.
Definitely. There's something up with him. He has godlike aspirations. He wants to be a god.
That's one way of putting it.
That's how he's going to impress.
That's one of my aspirations also.
Yeah. And it's not only to save the world, but to impress hot chicks.
Well, I mean,
There's always a lot of scenes, these hot chicks just impressed with him.
I would argue
By the magic he can do.
that the only reason he wants to save the world
It's
is
so
to
hot
get hot
chicks.
snatch.
Yeah,
I think that's
exactly.
probably the only reason.
Exactly. That's what I.
If hot chicks were not going to be the end result of that, then he would not bother.
But I have a feeling he's not even aware that he's doing that.
No. Everyone else is.
Yeah.
But he's not.
Right.
That's what's so funny about it.
Yeah.
Well, like I said, that's why we always clown on fucking Steven Seagal because he seems to be getting a little bit better, but for a long time it's like, you know, bro can't even like walk up the fucking stairs without wheezing. It's like he has to get a stunt double.
Yeah.
Like all he does is sit and mumble.
Yeah.
And then everybody else.
He's not in his own movies.
Then just everybody else does everything around. You guys go and like shoot at the bad guys. I'm just gonna sit here and like, you know.
He'll have a stunt double doing a scene for him and somebody else doing the voiceover. He's not even doing the voices in certain scenes.
Yeah.
Fucking.
There was one scene I can't remember what movie it was because it was just came up for free on like Amazon Prime or something. I'm like, let's watch this. This will be funny. It was mostly just boring though. But there was one scene where it was supposed to be him like walking and like standing on a balcony. And it was very clearly not him because it was a dude that weighed like 100 pounds less than him.
I think it was Sniper.
Might have been.
Sniper, yeah.
And I was like, wait, is that supposed to be him or is that a different... Who is that? That's a different dude.
Sniper was weird, man. I mean, because it's fucking staffed with fucking like dudes. One of them was the old general that he's on CNN all the time and he'd be in the fucking movies. He was in fucking Under Siege, which is actually a pretty good movie. He did have a few good movies. But he went out on his own to try to make movies. Oh, fuck no. He got banned from Hollywood just for being a dick.
Well, that's what happens. People don't want to be around you.
Yeah, but what's funny is that he's doing this fucking paramilitary type adventures. And all of the dudes are in their fucking 60s and 70s. And then you got the fucking generals, like, that dude's got to be in his 80s. And, like, you do realize that dudes age out of the military. The military is a young man's game, you know. Even the generals.
Yeah, and they're all in some fucking commando mission.
Yeah.
And I'm like, in real life,
the best guys we have.
They just felt like, my scoliosis.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It'd be like that.
He's 60,
My arthritis.
he's 68 and he weighs 275 pounds. Yeah. Best man.
He runs 5 feet and he's like,
he's the best sniper we got.
Wait up, you guys.
and then they show him in his sniper position, and it's a very conventional fucking sniper position. It's like it's a guard tower. Real snipers would never take a position like that.
Funny.
They're invisible. Okay, you'd never fucking see them. I worked with them when I was in the army, and they were in my platoon, fucking in a recon platoon. So, and he spends the whole scene talking. Remember that?
Yeah.
Yeah, and he's supposed to be this best.
I mean, kind of. I think my eyes glazed over at some point.
And he's like, yeah, man, he's just shooting the shit. Yeah, you know, I'm in a position of shooting. Oh, yeah, I might have to take a shot. You know, yeah. That's not the way that shit is at all.
I'm just going to sit here.
I'm just going to say, okay, it's time for us to go. And just walk out. Yeah, that's not what it looks like. That's not what it is. It's just,
oh my God.
It's looking funny.
I know. Phantom says, will there still be a Sidetracks on Friday? Of course, we always do a Sidetracks on Friday. We just did this. I mean, this would be when our regular episode was. But because it was Christmas and I was too lazy to do research, I just thought we would, because it's holidays, you know what I mean? I wanted to take a little bit of a break. But I still wanted to do a show because I like doing these. So I was like, well, we'll just do a Sidetracks. It'll be fun. Phantom says, Tom, are you going to mount your new TV on the wall or just use the stand? No, what we had to do, because the stand we had for the old TV was not quite wide enough, because this new TV is like much larger. Yeah. So we have the stand, but now we have this big, long
piece of wood.
It was a shelf.
Like it was a big, long shelf.
Yeah.
And so we put that on top of the stand, and then put the TV on top.
And I wrapped black curtains around it, so it all just kind of,
because it was white.
Because it was white.
It was in the laundry room.
I was gonna spray paint it, but I said, fuck it, I'll just
fuck that. Just put a fucking curtain.
If I have to, what I did is I'll move that one out to the living room and put the old TV on it, and then get a new fucking TV set that's wider. TV stand is wider.
Yeah,
I like to have something down there that's got a drawer, so you can put Blu-rays in there or whatever.
I mean, we'll eventually get another stand, because we can move that shorter one into the lounge
and
where
use it,
and then we'll just get a bigger one. They both Jay Perez and Sabrina said, Riff Tracks has done some Neil Breen stuff. Like, I'll look on Tubi, because like I said, that Tubi has a bunch of Riff Tracks stuff, but you can't get all of it on there. Sometimes you have to go to their site and like pay for the downloads, which I don't mind doing because it's not expensive, but I like to. They have a fuck ton of them on fucking Tubi though that are free. All right, so let's see. Yeah,
I'm shutting it down.
He's shutting it down.
I'm shutting it down.
All right, we're gonna wrap it up for this evening.
We'll be back Friday.
Maybe go watch some Riff Tracks.
Yeah.
We'll see what we can see. Or look on Tubi and see if they have any, because that sounds like kind of fun. I did watch some riff tracks and some MST last night, the Christmas movies, because I usually do that around this time of year. But yeah, so hopefully you guys enjoyed hanging out with us this evening. Hope you guys had a Merry Christmas, or, you know, if you still got Christmas left to go. And if you're in the UK or whatever, hope you have a good Boxing Day. We don't have that here. We might actually go see Nosferatu tomorrow. I'm not really sure. Or we might go this weekend, but that'll definitely be the movie review for Monday, will be Nosferatu, because I'm dying to fucking see that. So I can't wait. But yeah, and then of course Friday night we will do our regular Sidetrack show, which will be just like this one, where we just drink and talk about a bunch of bullshit. So hopefully you guys can join us for that as well. Thank you very much again for hanging out with us. Thank you for your super chats, and we will see you guys again on Friday night. Good night.